Hi there. It's your second favorite DP right here, okay? No, that's Deadpool, you silly little Hufflepuff. Anyways, I'm gonna need you to shut up that pretty little mouth of yours and pay attention because the show's about to start, alright? And, I don't know about you, but I know who's my vote for sexiest ex-soldier turned pop culture show host. Alright, enough foreplay. Let's get on with the show.
Everybody, welcome, one and all. God, I feel like it's been forever. This is Pop Culture Warrior. It is, Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. This is episode 200 and I don't know, something of other of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. But of course, I can't do it alone. Every Batman needs his Robin. More like Alfred. More like the dog. Remember Ace? Who remembers Ace? But I can't do it alone. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him in. The one, the only, Mr. Mad Mike. Yeah.
They can't see me. I'm doing it. Can't see me.
Wait.
Second show of the year. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I got a new shirt and everything, man. Look at this. It's fresh.
Did you really?
It's nice. Isn't that nice?
I thought it was a little red. Maroon.
Boom. Give me
Scarlet.
maroon.
Scarlet.
Yeah, it's my maroon. This is for my airborne brethren. Maroon.
Airborne.
So much.
Death from the sky. As long as, there's not high winds or somebody shoots our parachutes.
Fury from above, baby. Fury from above. So much.
Have you been doing it here? Have you been doing anything recently?
Can you T-ball me? Can you lob me up like a hey? So what have you been up to?
What have you been up to in the last 2 months?
Hey, wow! I'm so glad you asked there, Mad Mike. So much has been happening. My God, fuck. Where do we even begin?
Okay, I saw you play cards with a bunch of nerds.
Okay, no, we gotta go further back. 2 weeks ago for Memorial Day. Yeah. For Memorial Day, we were in Nashville, Tennessee. We were with Grunt Style, the incredible organization that makes all those cool shirts and stuff. The Grunt Style Foundation. is an organization that, does so much for the veteran community and fights for them on behalf of them in, the steps of Congress and all that. They had a Memorial Day concert headlined by Velvet Rodeo, Savannah Ray, and a bunch of others. And we were there. We were live. We streamed from it. We did it. It was a lot of fun. I spent 2 days in an Airbnb with Tim Jensen, the co-owner of Grunt Style. Interesting fellow. He's got a lot. He's doing a lot. He's definitely not the kind of guy that sits on his laurels and does, he's a busy dude. For instance,
complete opposite of you. Got it.
For instance,
the burn, ladies and gentlemen.
He's written multiple books, including the Book of Bang Bang. Yep. Well, yeah. Hang on, we'll get there. This is the Book of Bang Bang.
I like
the
that they're
Testament
short. And
of a
is
Bastard.
Is there pictures in them?
And so, yes, this is from the personal collection of Tim Jensen. One Tim Jensen, but you also see he has his series of violent but true bedtime stories.
Oh, that's the guy.
Volumes 2 and 3.
All those reels of him. I didn't know who he was.
Yes.
I'll do any investigative work.
So if you'll notice, he signed it to W.T.F. Nation, Fix Bayonet, Semper Fi, Tim Jensen. And in the second book, he signed it WTF Nation, Pass the Ammo, Stack Bodies, Semper Fi. So I, of course, a bunch of stickers fell out.
Festus's friend is a Marine too.
So I'll be giving these out, obviously. To you lucky folks at home, you can get a violent but true bedtime story written by one Tim Jensen of Grunt Style. It's even got the Grunt Style logo on the back. So we'll be giving those away at some point. So tune in, find out, get yourself a free copy of one of those books.
Nice.
So
how did that go? What else did you do? That was prior to we had
Yes.
Gary Sinise.
That was, yes, Gary. We had Gary
you guys
Sinise
went
on.
there. I didn't get an invite. Nobody fucking does them. I don't know.
First
go to
of all,
meeting. I don't go to
we invite
meetings.
you to everything, and the answer is always, I'm gonna be in Wisconsin. I gotta be in Disney. I'm on a boat fishing somewhere.
I'm kind of busy living my life, but also I also silence all of your communications.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, it's all of like, oh, you're really, really great. We really, really love you. Can you go here? Can you go there? No, I can't.
Yeah, too busy. Also, this past weekend, we were in, it's like offshoot of Cleveland, Ohio. It's called Lakeview.
The
royal we, as in me and the
FTX crew, not the we as in
the pop culture.
You got to use it in the proper context. God damn it! They're thinking we as in you and I, and I'm not a fucking royal nerd. All right, keep that shit on the DL. Stop telling people that shit.
Oh man, you try not to let people know you hang out with me outside of work. Got it.
True,
we, the royal we, as in the FTX family crew of nerds, went to Lakeview, Ohio for the grand gathering. Not as racist as it sounds. For Grand Gathering 6,
magic shit or something.
Super Show, the card game, as you'll see here. Super Show, the card game,
which you guys played twice or once?
We've played many times, but you'll notice here. Look at that. CQ, the specialist, with his wonderful sham shield, present as always. We have been immortalized in the card game Super Show. We are competitors. You can wrestle. You can play with me and the guys. You can get your fingers all over us and play with us and spank people with us, in Super Show, the card game. We got a bunch of cards. I got a whole stack of them. So that, and I will say this. We played, we entered the Royal Rumble. We live streamed a bunch from there. We met all the people. We talked with the guys. We had an absolute blast. And wouldn't you know it, like any good wrestling federation, they have multiple divisions. They have multiple divisions with multiple titles, and including Ladies and gentlemen, your veterans champion, CQ himself, walked into building with all the greatness he possesses and walked out the mother-loving champion. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The veterans champion. The champ is here. That is right. I am the LFF Super Show champion of the Veterans Division, and I will be a gracious champion. I will be an honorable champion. I will be a defending champion. So anyone out there, I lay down the gauntlet.
I fucking take that challenge.
I lay down the
100%
gauntlet.
of the time. You had a bunch of fucking ass kissing ass chumps who joined you who are like, oh, we can't be TQ. We can't be TQ.
Listen.
Who always wins between us? This guy. The only one that brings it, even if I lose, I fucking deny it. I'm like the Donald Trump of our fucking gaming. I won no matter what. It was all rigged. I had so many insurrections I mounted. No one ever talks about January 12th. Is me versus
those are
you
just erections that you failed. Those are just failed erections. So
he just gave that to you because you're like, oh,
first of all,
the head of this organization.
The Veterans Division. The video will be out soon.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
The video will be out soon. It was a fatal 4-way for the Veterans title.
Did you play against other people from the network? Nemo, fucking. I'll watch it. Just
by what I say.
Text it to me. I'll watch it.
And like I said,
I'm gonna say it's rigged. Oh, it's rigged.
It's
rigged. The election was rigged. I can't do an impression.
That's how he sounds. Oh, look, they're in the chats. The actual King Smith, who may or may not have inadvertently gotten me this championship when he saved me during I was getting pinned, and he came in and stopped the pin, and then I turned around and pinned him and won. So
no. It's in the commandments of the Dub Commanders. You never save CQ no matter what.
That's right. So as I was saying, if you watching at home want to come at me, come at the champ, get yourself a deck of Super Show cards.
Well, I gotta buy some shit.
I mean, you got it. I mean, that's how you win. That's how you win. And then get it.
So if someone beats you, are you gonna actually send them that belt, or are you just gonna be like,
no? This is the traveled belt. It is well worn down. You can't really see it on camera, but it is.
So what is this gonna run me to beat you? And do I have to show up? Can we do this virtually?
You can do it virtually. All we gotta do is get it sanctioned by the commission. You get the general manager to sanction the match.
I need a general manager. My general manager is King Smith.
No, LFF, Veterans Division general manager will sanction the match anytime, anywhere, any place, online or in person. I will defend my championship.
Somebody that you pay or somebody that I can pay?
There is no pay.
I need to know who to pay off to win this.
There is no payoff.
Where's this storyline written? I need to know all these facts.
You gotta know these things, man. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations, but I'm gonna say asterisk on that because they invited you and they made you the cards. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna win regardless. Anyway,
no. Again,
there's like 1,000 asterisks, but I'm not gonna break it down. Let the people think that you're great. Yeah,
it was. I was all over the place. I was amazing. I'm the greatest.
LFF, you know, the best cards. I had the holographic cards, the gold cards.
Listen. I can't hear you. I am the champion. I cannot hear you. My greatness is too loud.
On the other side, is it both the same thing on the same sides? It says
veterans on one side, champion on the other.
Nice.
There you go.
Very cool.
There you go.
That's cool.
Hey, Wayne.
So
hey,
you're not
Ton,
the
how you
first
doing?
one that won that, or is that you said multiple people were that? I thought this is the first time thing.
No. So Grand Gathering, this was their 6th year coming together for this. It was Grand Gathering 6. There are multiple titles. There's a heavyweight title. There's a tag team title. There's like the United States Championship. It's like
This is
wrestling.
just for that game. That's the name of the game, right? The
Super
card
Show.
game?
Super Show is the name of the game.
So what's the Grand Gathering then?
The Grand Gathering is their convention. It's their Comic-Con. It's where they come together to play the game and do tournaments. It's their version of like between a WrestleMania Rumble and a Royal Rumble. Okay. So they do all these matches. They have storylines throughout the year where guys will be beefing online, and then they come out and then, you know, they do the entrance music and they play the game. They got referees, and it's a fun time, man. It's a fun time.
If you ever got links or something.
You got length? What?
Link? Fuck's sake. Links? You got links or something?
Yeah, there's links. There's links.
Google's,
SRG Universe, Super Show. You can Google it. It's out there. We're working on editing
stores or something. Can I buy the cards anywhere?
You can buy it on Amazon.
Why do I have to sell your shit? I'm not even a fucking card. It's the easiest card to me.
Universe,
the
Super Show,
the Chin, the Marine, the greatest of all time, and it's the easiest card, the best card you can ever make. I'm not even in it, but I gotta sell it.
You done? Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you done?
I'm sorry.
Are you done?
Just I fucking have to help you do everything.
You're getting worked up. You're getting worked up again. Calm down. Calm down. Your blood pressure. You're gonna set off your little heart monitor. But
it's fucking exploded already. It's like fucking getting electrocuted.
Yeah. Which, anyways, folks out there, let us know. How's Mad Mike's sound? We were dicking around with his audio a little earlier. I'm hoping it solved the issue.
Not the dicking that we usually like to do.
It's a different kind of dicking around we did.
Yeah, tell them where they can buy this shit. Can you buy it anywhere? I don't know. And I talk to you all the time.
All the things, but you were just talking over me and wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I said where to get it and do all the things and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You can look up SRG Universe, which is the name of the company, and Super Show, which is the name of the game. And you can find audio sounds better, tiny bit of echo, but sounds great. Thank you. But yeah, you can look for it anywhere online. On their shops, on their webs, interwebs.
Cards like limited time, all the time.
So they do different. So there's like base sets, and there are certain like expansion sets that will always be available, but there are limited run cards. So like they had promo cards that had like Grand Gathering on it that were only available there. So like I have a couple cards that were only available at that show. So like
alternate picture cards.
There are foils. There are alt arts. Yeah. There's cards. We have finisher cards. We have like the atomic splash and the death drop and these things. But our partnership and collaboration with SRG Universe and Super Show will continue. There will be much more to come over the future. And as the Veterans Champion, I gotta defend it. I think it's like at least once a month or something like that. I need to defend the championship, something like that. So live.
How does that go? Like online or something?
Well, yeah, typically if you can make it to an event, then you would do it live. If you can't make it to an event, then they set it up online, and you basically just, you know, have like a top-down camera showing the cards, and then you play.
Like your exquisite setup.
Yes. My setup.
I'm sure you'll be advertising that on your other show.
Yep. But anyway,
that's cool.
It was very cool. They're a very good community.
Couldn't invite the reigning champ. Whatever.
Listen,
there's certain reasons, certain things happen, but whatever.
Yeah, choices were made.
You gotta bring it in later. I'm the Ric Flair to your Hulk Hogan. I got it.
Oh yeah. It's Angry Elf says he'll buy it once the co-host cards are released. Well, maybe one day. We'll see.
I did one show. Like, fucking hey, man, what do I gotta do? We gotta come more than once every 5 years? Like, fuck.
Something like that. And in final wrap-up news, before we kind of get into just all the pop culture stuff, I did get to go see Masters of the Universe early.
Oh, I saw that on the internets.
It's on the internets, yep.
And how was that? I have to say I have a lot of hope and expectations. I used to have all the fucking action figures and the castles, which I regret getting rid of because they're worth like $1,000 now.
Yeah.
It's our childhood. People have Power Rangers. We had Masters of the Universe.
I will say this. If you grew up a fan, I mean, this is one of the best modernization adaptations I think I've ever seen. No spoilers. I will not spoil it. The movie's not out, so I will not spoil it.
Live action or like
live action? I just mean, there are properties that are straight up adaptations, right? They just took it and screened it. Like you look at The Last of Us, look at what's the other one? The other fucking one that was super good. Like The Boy, even The Boys is
Fallout.
Loosely. Fallout, like those are really good adaptations. This is kind of the middle ground of a pure adaptation to, when they did like Superman, like the first Henry Cavill Superman, where it's like, it's a modernization of that story. Like it hits all the beats, but it's original in the way they're doing it and the story. So this kind of falls in the middle where it touches on all the things that made it what it was while kind of giving it a good reason to exist. Again, no spoilers, but
is it worth $20 a person to watch it?
If you grew up a fan, this is what I'm going to purely say. It's a good movie. By no means is this like the greatest movie that ever existed. No, it's a solid movie. It's a solid, fun movie. It is silly. But it's one of those movies, it doesn't take itself seriously and it leans into the campiness.
I think that's what you have to do with that.
You have to.
Excuse me.
You have to.
Can't do it any other way with that. It's a stupid, like, borderline homophobic concept to begin with.
Yeah. When you have guys named Mecha-Neck and fucking Fisto and Ramrod and like
your main character's in a thong, like it's like, what are you
a loincloth,
He's like, oh, I'm all powerful now, and he's in that thong. It's like,
It's the one thing I'll give it credit for, because like going into it, I was like, how are you going to make this not so stupid? And it's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of like the Adam West Batman, where it's like, we're going to lean into the silliness of it, right? We're going to lean into the playfulness of it. There's a reason, like the characters themselves are not named Fisto and Ramrod, but when you look, Ramman,
that's your side character.
that's my sub secret identity. Like it's he didn't know, like as a kid, he didn't know their names, so like he just like made up names for them, and that's why. Like in his head, they're called, Mecha-Neck and fucking.
That's what we do.
We just make up names for shit. So like, there's little things like that, and they're sprinkled throughout the movie where you almost get that kind of like The Office, look at the camera, wink, or kind of like, meh. But it's not as like on the nose as that, but like
they do with everything nowadays. Every remake where they try to make it entertaining and nostalgic.
So I do
Barbie-esque.
I do think it's entertaining. I do think it's a love letter to people that grew up on it. Like even when they do the ha 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 ha, like that very corny over the top laugh. Where some of them are like, why is he laughing like that? And so it's a fun campy movie. As a movie,
would you see it
7.5?
See it if you didn't get a free invite?
Well, I never grew up a He-Man fan, so that's on me.
What?
That's on me. I didn't grow up a He-Man fan. I didn't. It was never my thing. I would say this, purely as a movie, it's a solid 7.5, Don't regret seeing it. And laughed out loud at some points.
At what Fast movie would you say this relates to?
It's a solid
Fast
original
one.
Fast one. It's a solid Fast one. Maybe here's the thing.
If you like He-Man, it's like Fast one.
Yeah,
If you didn't,
I would say this: if you
Fast
are a fan,
He-Man.
if you are a fan of He-Man, if you grew up watching this stuff, you'll love the movie. They really
Does
did
Jared Leto ruin it at all?
Okay, non-spoiler review. Skeletor is the best part of the movie.
Surprising.
He fucking is so good. It's so
Skeletor has always been the best part of He-Man. I just want to know if fucking Leto ruined it or not.
And will there be a She-Ra movie? Yes, there will be.
It.
There will be a She-Ra movie.
That's just like AI'd it and all that.
The thing with Skeletor, it's a very fine line because you can either go like really like villain to the point where it's like I'm gonna eat your flesh, like horror
Morgan Freeman type, like fucking Dementor shit.
Yeah, and then you can go so silly campy that it could be like a joke.
Adam West Joker.
Right. They really walked a really good line of where like, wow, you do see why this guy is like the most evil being and everyone fears him. Like you get that, but at the same time, he's gonna make you laugh. He's gonna make you laugh. It's not spoiling anything because there's trailers out, but like there's the one scene where he's doing like the evil laugh where he's like and then he kind of looks around and everybody's just standing and he's like, come on. He's like, that's the crescendo. That's when I do this and I'm like, and they're like, oh yeah. Like, so they play it up in that, it's a ridiculous premise. Is it? At one point he's like, of course I'm like, I have a skull for a face. Of course I'm the villain, like it's shit like that where you appreciate it. You appreciate.
And that's what they have to do to make that work. Because you can't be too serious. You can't be too campy. It's also a niche thing. Like, I'm surprised you don't fucking like it. I fucking loved it. And all we had was a cartoon back then.
Yeah.
I remember what the fuck's the guy from Rocky?
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, that version I watched. Yeah. I watched all the versions.
Yeah.
But anyways.
There's a lot of nods.
Definitely a niche thing. So, and there's nothing else coming out in June. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to watch? Fucking Minions 18?
Spider Noir, which is getting phenomenal reviews, by the way.
Which I watched. We could segue into that. Yeah. Did you watch it? No.
Let me wrap up this in that if you just like fun, silly, campy, low stakes movies, it's a solid 7.5, maybe 8.
Serious. It's a 10. Got
it. But if you liked He-Man growing up, I think this movie's for you. If you enjoyed those 80s cartoons, Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, like if you enjoyed that and like that's not to say a core part of your identity, but like that's rooted in your childhood, you'll enjoy this. You'll enjoy the movie. You won't regret seeing it. Is it a must-see in theaters?
I forgot it was going out. And I liked it. Like you said, I'm a niche guy, whatever. Yeah. I watched all of them. I watched Kevin Smith ones. Who doesn't want to do our show? But like my wife and kids, they have no fucking clue who that is. They're just like, what's a gay guy in a loin? Of course he likes a gay guy in a loincloth. Of course. He's at what's CQ all the time.
Yeah. I had to say that I didn't really know the actor beforehand. But
yeah, I've never heard of him either.
Credit where credit's due. I don't know if it was CGI or AI or whatever, but in some of those scenes where they do the close-ups and the rippling muscle, I was like, God damn. I was like,
supposedly he worked out for that or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he
looked good. And now he's like all like he's the go-to guy, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't know what he's got, but God bless you. Good.
He did really good. I 100%. This has now launched a franchise of movies. They will do a She-Ra. Really? They will. Like, I want to talk more about
Who does this? Like, who's the Sony or
I think
what?
it's I think actually Amazon
Stable?
Prime owns
It's a
this one.
Prime. Okay.
I think they're the ones putting it out. Um, there's definitely a lot of groundwork laid to where you can see where they're going to go down
I
the
just
line.
turn it off.
You know,
That's the thing. Like, yeah, like
there is a post credit scene. I'll just tell you, stay after the credits.
okay.
There is a post credit scene.
No.
Just one.
That's the thing I hate. Is like it's okay to like, yeah, like this is probably like you said, like 6, 7 out of 10. And then you do all the spin-offs, and it's like, no,
Yeah,
they're like a 3 out of 10. It's like
yeah,
nobody wants to see it. Like Shebra, I get it. I may watch it depending on how much it'll cost me. Um, but it's not something I'm dying to see. Like
sure.
it's not my Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars or whatever, you know? It's
Yeah,
not something people care about. Like
yeah, yeah. I mean,
it's not a hot thing. There's no like nothing to back it up. There's no comics. There's no books. It's something we liked as kids. That it's nostalgic. It's like
yeah.
Sonic and all that
I
other
mean, it's the
shit.
Barbie movie. It's the
Yeah,
Barbie movie.
it's
You got to
Barbie.
come up with a good
Exactly what it
story
is.
to justify why this exists. I
And what
will
made
say,
that more spectacular also was that they did Oppenheimer, and the two together also helped fucking prop that up.
yeah, it was the whole summer
Would it
box
have been
office.
as successful? Yes, but that the fact that they combined them with two shits that were the complete opposite helped it
Yeah,
100%. But
I will say that um, my hope, again, coming from this as not a fan of the franchise, or not that I wasn't a fan, just that I was never really into it. If they can develop the sequels and the other ones as well as they did this one, I think they'll be very successful. My concern is when they, you get these where it's like, oh shit, this did better than we thought it was going to do. Fuck it, we got to get a sequel out now. And where this one probably
that's what
went
they will
through
do.
10 years to get it to this point, and then they're like, oh, next year, part 2. And it's like, well, then you wonder why it's shit. Because you rush it out the door just to make the dollar.
And you threw in the same shit from the. It's like fucking Minecraft movie, which they're doing another one. It's like that, or the Jumanji. Yeah. This hit. Let's fucking
Yeah.
throw in a bunch of bullshit.
Your rate of return, there's
is an
finite
easy
number.
series to make it like campy and stupid and retarded, and that's I think what they'll end up doing.
Yes.
There's not a lot of substance there. It's a guy in a thong, like fucking sword fighting.
Yeah, and it was good. Action was decent. I feel like there could have been a little more action. It's I mean, but it's a balance of like narrative and
It's literally Conan and Thor mixed together.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on. Spider Noir.
Other previews you saw coming up?
I do actually have another preview coming up. Next week, I'll see, or later this week, I'll see Disclosure Day. So I'll be able to tell you guys.
It comes out this weekend, doesn't it? Or next weekend?
I think it's 2 weeks from now. I think is when it comes out.
Interesting.
I'll let you know.
I want to know how that goes.
Stay tuned to the next Pop Culture Warrior, and you'll find out. Which
you are.
Totally forgot to mention too that we do have a guest tonight. So stay tuned for the second hour. We got an amazing guest. You're gonna love him. Amazing story. Adam, I think it's pronounced Tierney. I'm gonna ask him because it's like Tierney, Tierney, I think it is. But he's a comic writer, video game writer, director, bunch of stuff. Fucking amazing dude. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love that interview. But Spider-Man Noir, much to my shock, I'll be the first to admit, I thought this was gonna bomb hard, and apparently it's over 90%, 92% Rotten Tomatoes. Like everyone's singing its praises. I honestly, and this don't kill me, don't take away my Spider-Man card. I haven't seen it yet. I've been traveling. I've been bouncing from one thing to the next. I literally just got home yesterday. I was too wiped out to even start it, but I'll probably start it tomorrow. because I wasn't excited. I
figured that was the case.
wasn't very excited for it.
It's well, like we talked about it before. It's like, yeah, what is there to be excited about? It was a maybe 6-issue comic book run, which they redid after the success of fucking what is it, Spider-Verse or whatever, the cartoon movies.
First it was the 6-issue series, which I mean was mixed reviews and it was well received, but it wasn't a big deal.
Nobody reads the comics.
It wasn't until Web of Shadows, when the video game came out and you were split into the 4 different Spider-Mans. You were regular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Future Spider-Man 2099, and Spider-Noir. That's when that character started to get some traction. And then eventually, obviously, when he came out into the Spider-Verse, where, Nick Cage voiced the character. And lo and behold, it is now, a mainstay. But
I watched it.
Yeah,
and
tell me.
Like you said, I'll lay it on you.
Lay it on.
I went the same way you thought. I was like, it's stupid. I don't really care to see it, but it's free because I already have this stuff. My kids were more excited because they're all into the Spider-Mans. But it was good. It was entertaining. I think I only fell asleep one time.
Wow. That's gonna be your rating system. One falling asleep out of 10.
I fell asleep for like 2 seconds, and then I got yelled at like that.
That's huge. That's a really good rating on the Mad Mike scale.
Oh wait, I totally know what's going on.
Looking like Nick Cage.
But no, they did a fucking really good job. It's free. Like if you don't have Prime, like just borrow someone's shit. It's totally worth. I think it's 6 episodes or something like that, maybe 8.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining. It's cool. It's cool how they did it. They made it like it's entertaining for what it is.
Right.
Like the OG shit. He didn't sing webs and all this shit, and this guy does. But they made it work. Like the spider sense is him. Like, ugh. That's his spider sense.
I like that.
And then all of a sudden somebody's kicking his ass. And it's like and all the other ones are like, whew. And then you get a preview like somebody is about to fucking kick me in the face. He's just like, ugh. And then like some bad shit happened. But they made it work. And
let me ask you this. Because again, I've only seen it through the commercials and the clips and here and there. The accent, the voice, the style, the way he talks, like it's tough to watch in the small clips. So is it something that after a while it's like white noise and you don't notice it anymore? Or is it?
Yeah.
It's
just
kind
of like, because he doesn't. God bless Nicolas Cage. He is a fucking he's fucking American icon. Like, fuck's sake, dude. If he wasn't into the family he's in, and if he like, it's his outside exploits that like we like, and the way he talks and shit and acts, like, yeah. So we put up with it. Like, it's like I put up with you or whatever. It's the same concept, but yeah, like my favorite thing is he doesn't like always do it. There's no consistency.
Yeah.
So he's like really hard into it, like, yeah, see. And then he's just Nicolas Cage. You're gonna have to stop it. It's the Spider-Man. Like most of the time he's like Nicolas Cage, and then it's just like the random like, yeah, see. Gotta get my hat, see. And it's like, fuck's sake, dude.
Oh,
I'm
man.
so glad you dropped the Coppola name because fuck's sake. If you weren't such an icon, like we wouldn't put up with that. But it's you ignore it because you're like, it's Nicolas Cage. But it's like, yeah, he's supposed to be doing this fucking thing the whole time. He doesn't do it. No, it's in and out. And then there's like a part where the guy from is it Girl Next Door?
Yes. Girl. Yeah. No. You're thinking of
with the Duchanel, the sister of the lady from Bone,
Zoe Deschanel, and you're talking about Lenore Morris.
Guy
yes,
Fucking great show. If you haven't watched that show, fucking so many
Morris.
good talents in there.
Tough name to say.
But anyways, the black guy from that show is also
New Girl.
fucking New Girl. Fuck yeah.
Not the girl next door. That's the porn you were in.
Whatever. Anyways, that guy, which fucking highly talented.
He won an Emmy.
Did he really? Good for him.
Yeah. He won an Emmy for his performance in what was it?
The movie where he played a cop with the white guy from that show?
No. And that was Damon Wayans. That wasn't.
That's a great performance.
No.
Anyways, he does a good job. He's playing like the reporter for the Bugle and shit. And,
yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You'll like it more than you thought. I was like, this is gonna be shit, but I gotta watch it with my kids because they're like, oh, I'm trying to get them into comics, and they're like, this is coming out, Dad. We gotta watch it, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, he won. Oh yeah, he won Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series, the Emmy for his portrayal in Fargo.
Fargo. Okay,
that's what he won his Emmy for. Yeah, so Lamorne Morris. Good dude.
He's in there. They do good, but they do. It's a great job. Like they do a good job with. They tie it all to the era, you know. Like everyone's like, yeah,
we're smoking cigars and drinking whiskey,
and like drinking whiskey and shit. And the British dude, he's a well-renowned actor, does a good job. Silvermane.
Oh yeah, he plays Silvermane. Yep.
But I like how they did a cool, like they incorporated Electro, Sandman, one other
villains. Yeah, got it.
It was like the big three. What are they called? What's the Spider-Man villain?
Sinister Six.
Sinister Six. They did a cool
the big three. That's what they call them. The big three.
I don't know. They had Trump in there, fucking Biden. I don't know. Rhino. They did a cool job, and they incorporated it well with the concept, like, oh, it's Ben Reilly and whatever. It's the 40s. And tied it all to like some Nazi experiment. But they did it well. It was well done. It's worth a watch. It's free if you have Prime. I liked it. It's good.
There you
go. A lot better than the most shit that we fucking get.
That is about the highest praise you could get from Mad Mike that I've ever seen.
I thought it was going to be hot fucking garbage, and it was good. I mean, the reviews were 50-50, but it was good. It's like a fucking Spider-Man noir. Like,
it's almost like a noir Spider-Man show.
It was fucking like 100 times better than Marvel or Miss Marvel or most of the shit Disney does.
Yeah. Wow. So, what else? Yeah, because we got about 15 minutes.
And I watched in color. If you watch in black and white, it's really fucking good. And like, yeah, nobody's watching black and white. Color.
Oh, you watched it in color.
Yeah. You gotta watch it in black and white. I'm like, nah, I fucking don't. Like, there's a reason nobody watches shit in black and white anymore.
There's a reason they added color to the shows.
Yeah.
It really makes it stand out.
I don't care how much you tell me it's nostalgic or whatever. I'm not watching that shit in black and white. You're trying to put me to sleep, you asshole.
Yeah, for that we should take the sound off too. Take the sound off and just put this.
I just want everyone to go like,
and then it cuts to just the sign of like the words.
Be fucking Charlie Chaplin. No one ever said he was the greatest actor of all time.
Scott says, I never thought I would see the day Mad Mike leads the discussion on a Spider-Man issue over CQ.
Right?
That's fair.
I thought he would have been watched it, but he's like, it's gonna be shit. It's fucking Nicolas Cage, goddamn, he's an American icon. Well, guy's got bills to pay, like everyone else.
It's Nicolas Cage ranges from shit to shit starring Nicolas Cage. You know, like
you gotta put him in a role like that he can do. But he also has a lot of bills to pay. Like the guy has a lot of money that he owes.
Cocaine's expensive, man. It's expensive.
He pays for a lot of shit. I saw something where he like pays the cast medical bills and mortgages and shit. Man.
Yeah. So apparently, like the budget for Spider-Man Noir was like upwards of like $400 million, which is
no shit for that.
Which is insane.
The special effects were like the spider webs.
Yeah. The
Well, in the background was all digital. Like
the final season of The Boys was made for like less than half of that. And The
no
Boys
shit.
was like Amazon's flagship series for the last, 10 years.
Doesn't
So
show. You could completely tell like it's half-assed. Like you could tell it's fake backgrounds and it's not refined special
yeah,
effects by any.
I'm assuming the half of
I
that was
mean,
his
you're not
budget.
getting whale dicks and shit like that, like The Boys got.
You don't get the love sausage like you do in The Boys.
Yeah, Boys makes it worth it. Like you get a giant 35-foot fucking whale cock or something, and then like that's a special effects budget I can get behind.
Now that's a budget.
Spider-Man Noir is like half their budget was making Nicolas Cage not look old as fuck from repeated drug and cocaine use.
Redubbing his lines to have some type of accent.
Yeah, the guy's been using cocaine for like 100 years. Like he's fucking looks like shit.
So there's a question in the chats. This is directed at you there, Mad Mike. Who is your favorite comic character?
It's a toughie. Go between the Punisher and Wolverine.
Man, you can tell someone's like birth year based on their comic book character of choice. Like
Also,
you are clearly an 82 to 86 birth if you're like Wolverine or the Punisher.
The Wolverine. I was Punisher until X-Men came out.
Nightcrawler. Oh yeah, see, Ton's a younger guy. I can tell because you go Nightcrawler. That's an X2. That's an X2 fan right there.
Kids watch all the X-Men, and they're like, "What's with the frog guy?" I was like, "He's not a real X-Men. Like, just ignore that."
Frog guy.
Yeah, the guy that wrote that on our show, but the 90s were a hard time for secret. And then you watch all the Fantastic Fours and the one with what's his name, Creed 6 or whatever.
Creed 6.
The Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic fan.
He was also in the Black Panther. It was the black dude that was in this shit.
Michael B. Jordan. Jesus Christ.
Yes, fuck's sake. That one. They watched that one, and I was like, this is the worst one ever, and nobody talks about it. You probably shouldn't watch it. It shouldn't even be on Disney Plus.
Man, let me tell you something.
They watched the whole thing. God bless them. I'm like, I haven't even watched the whole thing. The director didn't want to watch.
He didn't watch the whole thing put together.
He didn't even edit it.
He left through the edit. That's real, true story. No, I had this, for people that are fans of the comic books, the Maker is a character who is an alternate version of Reed Richards who goes evil instead of good and whatever. I was like, man, what an opportunity if they were to bring back Miles Teller, like during the whole Doomsday Incursion shit, Secret War, and have him be the Maker. He doesn't even need to be in it long. You could literally just kill him off. Like he comes on screen and he's like, I'm the Maker. And then, kill him.
Give that guy some credit.
We got Peter in the chat says, really bad echo coming from Mad Mike. You know what? No, I'm not doing this.
We tweaked it. I was on here half an hour early, you cocksucker. Turn off your multiple surround sound or whatever you got going on. Just pull out one earbud.
Yes. Just turn him way down so you don't hear him. That's what I do.
You're just listening out.
Lower his volume until I can't hear him anymore. So there's that. They were just saying the new Wolverine game. Speaking of Wolverine, great segue. Have you seen the footage coming out of the new game?
Yeah, fuck you, PlayStation. Fuck you. We're not going to talk about it because we thought we had a loophole. Well, you thought you had a loophole. You can play it on Steam, and then they're like, "No, we're not going to release it on anything except PlayStation." Well, know what? Fucking die on that shit, you assholes! Because none of us are going to buy a fucking PlayStation at $500 to play one fucking game. You piece of shit.
They're going up in price now.
Yeah, because they're like, first time buy it to play Wolverine. It's like, no, we're not. fuck you, you cocksucking fucking ass. We need to drop another nuke because we got plenty. Keep playing games, okay? Do I like my children? Yes. Will I drop another bomb? Yes. Fucking goddamn. Just because Bill Gates likes to touch little fucking boys and shit doesn't mean you can't work with him.
The views and opinions expressed.
I just wish Wolverine is the one game I would actually play. I bought a fucking PS4 for fucking Spider-Man. It was a total waste of money, by the way. And I'm not gonna buy another one to play Wolverine, you cocksuckers. Just imagine how it goes in my head, which is skink skink, and then he fucking slices everyone up. Anyways, let's move on.
Woo.
Little emotional subject there, but anyway.
I think we touched the nerve, ladies and gentlemen.
You hold the beloved character of all time hostage? Yeah, fuck you, you fucking assholes.
Scott says, Helldivers eventually came to Xbox. I have hope for Wolverine.
No, it's not. They're holding it hostage 100%.
Yeah. If we haven't gotten Spider-Man,
other stuff either now.
Yeah, we haven't gotten Spider-Man for Xbox or Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man Miles Morales. There's no way we're getting Wolverine.
No.
I have played Spider-Man on my Xbox ROG, my Steam machine, my Xbox official Steam machine, and it's great. Plays great on there.
I'll pay $15 for the arcade down the road. You pay $15 for the whole day, and I'll go play it there.
Yeah. Yep. It's a shame. It's a shame that a game that could be beloved by everyone is being held hostage, which
to buy hardware, which is like the least profitable shit.
And I don't look.
Like, you want the hardware, and that it's like you're not making any money on the hardware, you dumb fucks.
I understood when Sony held back Spider-Man, right? Because hey, Spider-Man is a Sony product, and I get it. But Wolverine is not a Sony product. Right? That's just. It's only being held because of the exclusivity agreement between Sony and whatever the fuck is
company. What is it?
Yeah, Insomniac. Is it Insomniac?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it's being held hostage when it really shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, and that's the effect. I do see our guest has joined. You're in the. I'll be with you in a moment. We're gonna wrap up this block of scheduled conversation. But yeah, so I mean, look, it looks incredible. Obviously, the folks over at Insomnia Games, I mean, they know how to make a fun.
But it's you're limiting your audience. You're not gonna make as much money. Like,
it's not fair. Yeah. It's not fair for gamers. To be held hostage, right? Like you said, I'm not gonna. Which for the first time in history, let's make this point. For the first time in gaming history, consoles are now more expensive than when they launched. It's never happened. Never happened. No, usually you launch here, and then over time, price comes down. No, it went the other way.
Nothing new. The same console that launched 5 years ago is more than it was at that point in time.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy that
not like you're buying the next generation, which is always more. It's stupid. Right. And then you want me to pay for your it's also shittily done. You know how many videos I watch of people repairing PS5s? There's like 1,000 of them, and I watch every one. The HDMI should fail. If you fucking fart on it, it fucks up the HDMI. Like, why am I gonna pay $500 for this shitty fucking console?
You know why? Because of all the data breaches and all the money they have to pay.
Yeah, it's like, that's on top of it. I gotta subscribe to your fucking service where you're gonna fucking give out my shit to the fucking.
Yes.
God damn it! We're really gonna drop another nuke on you assholes. Fuck.
The views
just
and
want to play Wolverine on fucking Xbox.
The views and opinions expressed by Mad Mike are not in any way affiliated with Pop Culture Warrior and or W.T.F Nation Radio or any of its affiliates.
Where the guy likes to molest little children. That's it. Okay.
So Scott says every PS5 repair I've ever seen has cockroaches living in it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also included, it attracts cockroaches.
There's
I've
a
seen
little
no videos on
there's a
anyone
little
repairing
box
Xbox.
inside there that just has eggs, so that over the life cycle of the console, they
Yeah,
all
so
just
clean it up for you too, and they're clean. It's like they're blasting cockroach eggs. It's like this is so fucked up, dude. I've not seen one on an Xbox. This is surprising because I know somebody that's had a lot of issues with an Xbox.
Yeah,
I don't know. He also sucks at gaming, but whatever.
that's just the person. We just call him the actual. Anubis says the liquid thermal also dries out and overheats the CPU.
Yeah, which is the thing. And it's like you're paying what, $300 to some guy to repair this, and then it's like when you play 2 games, fucking Spider-Man and fucking Wolverine, which still is not supposed to.
And maybe God of War, right? Like that's the other one. That's the other.
But I think we can play that, can't we?
No, that's still locked down as well.
I know if I can care. At this point, I don't care to play. You know what? Make it all exclusive because I don't give a shit, fucking PlayStation, you cocksuckers. You wouldn't have anything if fucking Marvel didn't help you out and revitalize Spider-Man, you cocksuckers.
Really, tell them how you feel, games. Tell them how you really feel. Jesus Christ.
Keep it all. I'll play Subnautica and I'll fucking play fucking whatever else they give me for free on fucking Xbox. Whatever that subscription is, which they lower the cost of, and I've never been hacked. I fucking had to change my email because of that one. I wanted to play Spider-Man, and I fucking got hacked. You cocksuckers!
The one PlayStation game you played, and you
no, I have a Hotmail, which I'm trying to keep because I'm like one of the few people that still have it, and I had to change my password because I fucking subscribed on PlayStation.
Shame.
Xbox ever been hacked? No. Did they lower the cost? Yes.
They actually care about
keep your Wolverine. I don't fucking care. I got more rivals, you assholes. Fucking Cyclops up in this bitch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end.
Nothing to talk about, anyways.
Oh God damn it! Oh man, I can't even keep a straight face with you. We're gonna toss it to a break while I go get comfy with our guest. As always, Mike, you've made it entertaining. You've
I won't be back, but whatever.
You've really pushed the boundaries of what we're allowed to say here. So thank you as always for
we have no boundaries.
keeping true to our unfiltered, real talk narrative. You always come through for that. I appreciate it. All right, man. I'll let you say goodbye to the audience, and then we'll toss it to a break.
All right. Bye.
Oh, God bless him. Everybody, Mad Mike. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, alright? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, would you think because the show is going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
There's a voice that breaks the night. It's CQ at the insight. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends in those crazy scenes. Pop culture, trends and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends in those crazy scenes. Pop culture, trends and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ bright. We're ready for another fight. Marvel at the twists and turns. Villains playing, heroes learn. Every episode we'll discern lessons from the past to learn. Games we play and books we read. See, choose lessons what we need. Memories that make us bleed. Together we will take the lead. Pop culture warrior here to ignite. Guiding through the tales of light. But CQ leading the charge so bright. We're ready for another fight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite. Guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright. We're ready for another fight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite. Guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright. We're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite. Guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright. We're ready for another flight.
Hi there. You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. This is the way.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It is hour 2 of Pop Culture Warrior, and you know what this time is all about. This is where we bring together some of the latest and greatest of what's happening in pop culture and movies, TV, gaming, news, all that stuff. And oh boy, howdy do we got a good one for you for you guys. I'm stumbling over my words because I'm so excited. All right, let's do this. Tonight's guest has spent his career telling stories across nearly every corner of pop culture. He's worked as a writer, designer, producer, director on video games featuring some of the biggest franchises in entertainment, including Aliens, Silent Hill, Batman, Transformers, X-Men, Justice League, and yada, yada, yada. He's also served as director and writer on the fan favorite River City Girls and has even written for the hit animated series Teen Titans Go. Beyond games and television, he's also an accomplished author, releasing horror anthology book Afraid of Everything before making the leap into comics with projects like Romeo and Juliet and Godzilla from IDW Publishing. Now he's bringing readers his first original graphic novel, 13 Demons Dead, a manga-inspired supernatural horror story about a teenage girl who discovers she's humanity's newest demon hunter and has just 1 year to stop 13 ancient demons before they return stronger than ever. If that's not enough to get you hooked for this interview, I don't know what else we could possibly say. You must already be dead. So please, everyone, welcome to the show, the incredible Adam Tierney, ladies and gentlemen. Yay!
God, that was a hell of an intro.
I did, there's one thing I'm known for. It's being a loudmouth. So you're here.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No, dude, thank you so much for being here. I am so pumped. Obviously, I love getting to talk with people who are in the industry, whether that's comics, games, movies, TV, whatever. You kind of tiptoe in all of them. You like to dance around in all of it. But it is rare, few and far between, where if I can say, people reach out to us and say, hey, I saw your thing. I really liked it. I'd love to come on and talk with you. Like, just be still, my beating heart. Thank you. That means the world to me. And honestly, I love as I sat down and really dug into you, because I really like to understand and see where people come from and get a sense of who they are. Man, you have done so much cool shit, like so much. I don't even know where to start. So let's just dive right into it.
Sure.
I mean, you've worked in video games, television, children's books, and now comics.
Yep.
For you, was storytelling just like the goal? Like, did you discover it along the way? Like, how do you find yourself here?
No, I'm just a lifelong writer. And so, I mean, I think like a lot of writers, when I was a little kid, so my biggest passion of everything, even though I'm just barely starting to do it, is comic books. I grew up just adoring comic books ever since I was like 6 or 7, just super devouring, comics, and not, I was into like the DC and Marvel stuff, but really, I think I was fortunate that early on, when I was a little kid, I started reading stuff like independent stuff like Dark Horse Presents and Usagi Yojimbo, and like when I was a teenager, getting into like Sin City and stuff like that. So really, that's been like my number one like passion. But yeah, sorry, I forgot your question.
Storytelling, man. Storytelling.
So I've always been a writer. I was a little bit of an artist. And then I think what happened to me happened to a lot of like artist writers, which is you start meeting better artists. And it's like, oh, well, I'm never going to be as good as that guy. So I'll be the writer, you be the artist. And then, we'll kind of team up on stuff. But yeah, ever since I was like, I remember trying to like write novels in like 5th grade unsuccessfully, but always writing, cranking out stories, writing plays, writing comics that I would get like 3 pages into before I would give up. And then that was all my education too. Like I went to college, and it was I went to UC Riverside specifically because they had a creative writing degree. So I have a degree in creative writing, which is pretty dope. And then after that, yeah, just kind of fell into video games. But in addition to that, that's been my day job. That's been my, like thing I've been doing for over 20 years. And it's still my, 9 to 5, but I still love it. But on the side, as I have a little bit of like bandwidth and time, I've tried to hit all those other fields that I really would have loved to try out. Like you mentioned, like TV, like children's books and video games and stuff like that.
That's incredible, man. God bless it. To think like, yeah, I'm so successful, working in video games. I like to dabble in comics and, like, fuck, man, fuck you. You can't have all the cool stuff.
It takes a very understanding and supportive wife and family and stuff. But, like part of it, I think, like when I did video games, so I've been at Way Forward, the company, for like over 20 years, almost my entire career. And I pretty much just did video games for like the first half of that. And then I think what kind of drove me to do other stuff, and it started with me getting into, I think I have here, like I have a copy of my children's book, The Afraid of Everything. This is the first thing I did. It was a Kickstarter, and then I ended up doing it with IDW as publishing. Was I did a game for Amazon on iPhone called Till Morning's Light, and it was this awesome horror game, original horror puzzle game, and I spent like a year and a half of my life on it, and I poured like every ounce of creativity I had into it. But since it's a mobile game, doesn't get a box, doesn't get a physical one, and then basically a couple years after release, it timed out. They didn't update the for the iOS or whatever,
Right.
and it just went away. And I had this kind of like panic moment of like, wow, this thing that I spent like year and a half of my life on, it doesn't exist anymore. People can't play it, people can't see it, and that's becoming more and more common with digital video games. So that was around the time where I'm like, I gotta do something physical. So that's how I got initially into children's books. Was like, what is the exact opposite of video games? What is something where they're going to make it and then it's going to be there forever and I can hand it to somebody? And for me, that was kind of like, even though I still enjoyed games, that was very therapeutic to do something so tactile.
Yeah, I can imagine, doing something where, like, a commercial, like a digital ad that once it's gone, versus like, you're going, what, I'm going to go build a building. It's going to be there, until they knock that thing down. You have credits attached to franchises like X-Men, Transformers, Batman, Justice League, and Aliens. When you're handed an established property, what's the challenge of like respecting what fans love while still bringing your own voice and style to it?
I think it depends on the opportunity. So I'll give you a couple examples. Like the first game I directed was X-Men on GBA. It was like 20 years ago. I think it was like 21 years ago now. And it slotted between the second and third movies. So like the second Bryan Singer movie and who did the Brett Ratner, I think, did the third one. And so it was like we were kind of like X-Men 2.5. And so we had some of the villains, but they don't have like 8 to 10 villains in a typical movie. So you got to pad it. And so that was kind of fun because it's like, okay, we're adapting it. Like our Wolverine looks like Hugh Jackman, our Storm looks like Halle Berry, but we need more bosses. So I was able to do the stuff that they had going on in that movie and get some of those characters, like get their Juggernaut and get their Mystique and stuff. But then we could also bring in like we added Multiple Man. I thought was really cool. And we added this really heavy emphasis on the Sentinels. And one of my favorite things is we were, I believe, the first video game to ever have X-23, which now everybody knows X-23 from
Laura.
Wolverine. At the time, she was like barely, she debuted in the cartoon, and then she was barely in like the Nyx miniseries. And we were talking with Fox and Marvel, and I'm like, oh, can we please put this character in? I love this stuff. And I remember even talking to Craig Kyle, her co-creator at the time, and like, jamming with him back and forth on email and stuff. So, that sort of stuff is really cool when you have like bandwidth to kind of play with it and make it your own. And that game was like a good example of like, part of it is very film and then part of it is very comic, and then there's a lot in between. Other stuff you do, sometimes it's like a very strict adaptation, like when we did the Batman Brave and the Bold game on Nintendo Wii. That was based on the cartoon, and the whole point of it was like, let's just make it seem like this is like a playable episode, like 4 new episodes, and we want to make it look and feel exactly like the TV series. So we're using their model sheets, we're coordinating with a showrunner, we're recording with the same voice actors. So that one you don't want to stretch like anything, because it's just like we want it to be as faithful as possible. And then I would say on the other far end of it is something like River City Girls, which we did. That was based on the River City Ransom brand, but we completely reinvented it, like focused on different characters, reimagined characters. Everybody looks different art style. So it really depends on like the opportunity. Sometimes we get ones where it's like we're really trying to do exactly what they did. Sometimes it's a little bit of a half measure, like with the X-Men one. And then sometimes it's just like totally recreating and it's like 10% the original. And really all 3 of those different styles could be super fun on their own.
Oh, I can't imagine. And you've been involved, like you said, in games for more than 2 decades. In your opinion, how has video game storytelling changed since you first kind of got involved?
So it's I really dig it, because what's funny about like the directors at Way Forward, and now I'm kind of retired in terms of directing because I'm mostly now overseeing like the biz dev and the publishing and all that stuff. But the I think like every different director brings their own focus. So you have guys that are company that are more into the combat, guys that are more into the level design, more into the story and stuff like that. And I was always heavy on story and heavy in dialogue. So we would have like little bits and pieces of that in the first few games I worked on, like X-Men and Justice League. And I mean, talk about like the first two games I got to direct when I was like, you know, in my 20s starting out, was first it was X-Men, and then the very next game was Justice League. So it's like, oh, like I get to, I'm just like at the world's best buffet of just like comicdom. And those were fun, but you're still like just little tiny bits of like dialogue. It's only text, there's no audio or anything like that. Now I think because of games that have come along that have really changed the way that narrative is, you know, looking especially at stuff like the Naughty Dog games and Uncharted and stuff like Spider-Man, and, you know, things that are Grand Theft Auto, of course, which just like super, you know, heavy storytelling, Red Dead Redemption, that really kind of trickles down to like all types of games that want to do that. And so that was something that I was always interested in. So if you look at something like River City Girls, that's not a huge budget game. It's still a little retro pixel brawler, but every piece of storytelling has full VO. When you're switching characters, we have different actors doing different performances and stuff, and we're getting people in the audio booth. We're recording like thousands of lines of VO. That's stuff that I don't think we would have done, you know, 10, 20 years ago. And I love that we're getting more and more cinematic and more like audio driven in terms of the storytelling and video games in general. So like the fact that the big games are like soaked in it means even the little indie games like us can kind of dip a toe in that as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've had, we're very blessed to have a lot of friends that have voice characters in the Metal Gear series. So we've had David Hayter and Vanessa Marshall and all these people on, and like talking about games that like revolutionize storytelling. I mean, Hideo Kojima, my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a movie where you press buttons.
I just got to say for a sec, speaking of people that are just like hogging all the fun in the world, David Hayter, it's not enough that he's like this accomplished genre actor and voice actor, but he's like, I'm going to write X-Men. I'm going to write Watchmen. I'm going to write all these like amazing screenplays as well. That's just insane.
And honestly, the nicest guy, just so super chill and humble and nice. But yeah, like, you know, I remember coming up in a world where playing Super Mario Brothers, right? And you know, and being excited when, you know, like Mortal Kombat, like, oh my God, there's kind of a story, like, and then to transition to Metal Gear and like all these, like you said, Uncharted and God of War and all these games that like, it's a freaking movie you're watching that you press buttons sometimes, you know, it's so good. Let me ask you about River City Girls, because I don't think a lot of people, it's not as well known of a property as some of the other things, but it became a huge hit with fans. What made that project special compared to maybe some of the other games, the bigger properties that you've worked on?
I think it was just the total freedom that we had with it. And so, you know, in America and in Europe, we have what we kind of think of as like the River City Ransom series. But it's like maybe, you know, before we did our game, there was maybe like 10 or 15 games that had made to the US, like Dodgeball and River City Ransom, the different River City Ransom sequels. In Japan, it was over 50 titles. Like it's called Kunio-kun there. And they had been cranking them out ever since the mid 80s. And so we basically pitched them, hey, what if we did, because Way Forward, our company, does a lot of like games where it has like female protagonists. And we said, what if we did like the role reversal one, where instead of the boys saving the girls, it's the girls saving the boys. And Arc System Works, the IP owner and the publisher in Japan, said, oh, that's a good idea. And so we went into that. But I think one of the reasons it resonates so well, and it's done so well for us, we've done at this point 3 games plus DLC plus tons and tons of merch and special appearances and stuff, is the characters. It's like, so we are reimagining their personalities. We're writing tons of dialogue. We're recording it with some of the best voice actors in, you know, from video games, from anime, just doing killer performances, really like laugh out loud, hysterical, you know, performances from these great actors. And then you couple that with the artistic direction on it. We used Rem, who's a manga artist who does the book Devil's Candy. She does all of the character concepts. She does all of like the comic book style pages for the cinematics, and they're very colorful and very pastel, neon colored. And then on the audio side, you also have Megan McDuffie, who's just killing it as far as like the vocal tracks and the music. And so I think it's just like the fact that Arc System Works let us redefine it and figure out our own version of it, which in Japan, I think it's like part of the title is something Gaiden, so it's like considered a side story. It's considered like this alternate version of the brand. But the fact that it was just a whole bunch of talented people jamming on it and just doing what they did best and not really having to adhere to an established style just made it feel very wild and free. And I think that just makes it feel exciting. And I think that's what most of the people are reacting to, in addition, of course, to the absolutely really rock solid like combat fundamentals, which the my co-director and director from part 2 on, Bannon, took care of. He's just a master at combat stuff. So I don't know, there's just a lot of good stuff in it, and we just did the kind of stuff that we liked, and luckily it seemed to resonate with people.
Yeah, and I mean, especially today, I mean, look at K-pop Demon Hunters, right? People are clamoring for badass female characters that don't necessarily be like a gender swap of the good of the guy character, but like independently, like, yeah, these people are badass, they're cool, they can tell a really good story. You've also worked on like Aliens and Silent Hill, which are two franchises with very different styles of horror, right? When you can easily group them, these are horror series, but they're wildly different. What did each of those worlds kind of teach you about suspense and fear and storytelling?
I think that Aliens was the best example of any game I've ever worked on where we looked at the source material and said, okay, this will inform the gameplay in this way. And the way that we did it is because whatever game we get assigned as directors at Way Forward, we always do like a deep dive. And so, on this one, we knew it was going to be related to Aliens. We knew it was going to be mostly related to Alien by Ridley Scott and Aliens by James Cameron, but then a little bit of like AVP, a little bit of Alien 3 in terms of the lore and stuff. So we were watching, me and the team watching all the films and stuff, and especially James Cameron's movie, and it really dawned on me, it's like, oh, he didn't really, like, I always thought of this as like an action sci-fi thing. It's just like a straight up horror movie. Like half the movie, it's just, hey, here are the most lovable damn characters you've ever seen. Like, even if they're on screen for like a second, like Vasquez, you're like, oh, I love that character so much. He introduces you to all of them. And then what happens in the second half of the movie? He just kills them off one by one by one. And I'm like, you just made a slasher movie. So I'm like, can we do something that gameplay wise sort of emulates that? And what we did, which I love how it came out, it's probably my favorite individual thing I've ever been a part of in video games, is you go through the game, you're playing as one character, one colonial marine. And when you get killed, you can then you have to swap to other characters. So the entire game, we're like spoon feeding you, hey, here's a new Marine, here's a new Marine. They're all designed by Marvel Comics superstar Chris Bachalo, who was always my favorite artist as a kid. And we wrote individual dialogue. So we wrote the story once, rewrote it 19 more times. So every character you play has completely different dialogue, different plot points, sometimes stuff like that. And we wanted some, players to play and be like, oh, here's my favorite character. But if it's your favorite character, you're putting them at risk. They might die. And then it's permadeath. And then we say, move on to the next guy, move on to the next guy. And it was such a weird structure because I remember going back and forth with the publisher and everything at the beginning. And they're like, well, but you can let them come back later, right? Or like maybe when you get to the checkpoint and then come back, we're like, no, that fucker is dead. And we're like, we even put like, when they're dead, we put like a massive red X over their face. We're like, you're never playing him again. Because we wanted you to feel the loss that you do watching something like Aliens and watching those beloved characters, die and you're never going to see them again. So for me, that was really exciting. And then the nice little button on that was years afterwards, James Cameron did an AMA on Reddit, and I posted, I'm like, hey, I did a game and I think you made a slasher movie, and is it like this? And he sort of confirmed that back to me, which was really nice.
That's awesome. And any like that's phenomenal. And what about Silent Hill? Because I'm just curious again, because it's so vastly different in its approach to horror. Well, I mean, what was the kind of takeaway from that one?
Silent Hill was a weird one because at the time that was my favorite game series of all time, especially Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3. But everybody knows those are very creepy, subtle, quiet, atmospheric games. When Konami came to us, they said, "Hey, we want you guys to make Silent Hill." I'm like, "Yes, this is my favorite series of all time." And they're like, "We want you to do it so that it's 4-player auto-generated dungeon crawler with teenage kids, constant VO, and it's an RPG, and you're running around in Diablo perspective." We're like, what are you talking about? And so like all the weird parameters with it were kind of in place. So that was kind of a bittersweet one. Like I loved playing in the Silent Hill world. I loved especially when we got to do like DLC and bring characters like Heather from Silent Hill 3 in as playable characters. It was really fun, but it was kind of weird because we kind of went into it knowing like they're probably going to hate this, the diehard fans. And then it came out and it's like, yep, they hated it because I think it's a really, I kept saying like during production, I'm like, we should just call it something else. I'm like, if we just called this something like a parody, like I said, like if it called like Violent Hell or something like that, then it's like, then people would say, "Oh, I get it. It's like a parody."
That's pretty good,
because you're treading on like sacred ground with this series, and you're doing something that is like a 180 from everything that the fans have said that they wanted. So we were in kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But at the end of the day, it's still like I got to do a Silent Hill game, so it's still pretty good.
Your fingerprint is on the legacy, whether it's a Bloodstain or
but definitely like of the two, Aliens was the one where I think it's like more of the audience out there, the Xenomorph fans are like, "Oh, that's a good Aliens game. That's what we wanted." And whenever you can do that, whenever you can get the fans exactly what they want or surpass it, it's obviously preferable.
And it's so hard. I cannot imagine. I'm just a fan. I'm an observer. I'm an outside lover of this stuff. But I can't imagine on the development side, on the business side of this, of like, well, you have to appease the people that love this thing and just want this thing more. But then you're like, but don't give me the same crap. I want new, but not too new. I want it. And it's like, how do you like it, I can't imagine like the conversations you guys must have. And like, how do you balance respect and new and quality and different and all these different things all at the same time?
I mean, what I've learned, if anything, over the years is you just got to go with your instinct. And so, if you get assigned, if it's like, "Hey, I'm going to make a Batman game," it's like, what Batman game do you want to make? Just make that one. Because if you're doing something where you're trying to pander or you're trying to like, copy some other game or copy some other style or something, it's never going to be as good as you just doing what you want to do. So I think, and again, I think that's the, what worked with River City Girls was just, we were just doing exactly what we felt like. And I think people respond to that. Like if people can tell when a game is just like somebody just lunging creatively in a direction and it's almost all appealing, like, oh, that's really cool. That's not what I expected. But I will say that it's definitely on the negative side, what I learned on River City Girls is the more popular your game is, the more you're going to get attention of all types. And I remember it was this crazy situation where the game was about to launch and we were getting attacked by people saying like, this is like woke shit, and this is like, I hate this is like, too progressive, blah blah blah. And then on the other hand, we had other people saying this is sexist and it's just booby girls and stuff like that. The clear answer is it's completely none of those. It's like right down the middle. They're just goofy, like anime-ish girls. And once the game came out, all those angry mobs just kind of vanished, and then it was just the fans. But that was like a real weird moment for me where I'm like, whoa, wow, it's kind of, it's nice that you work on something that's more popular than a typical game, but there's also, kind of a negative because some people can come out with some really strong opinions and, not even be that informed about that, especially before the game comes out.
You're speaking my truth. Obviously you know the show a little bit, and like we'll talk about stuff that's coming down the pipe, and we'll say, hey, based on the images we're seeing, this is what we feel. But I always reserve but I'm not gonna crap on it unless I've seen it. Yeah. Like if I watch it and I think it's crap, I'm gonna say I think it's crap. But at the very least, I can say it doesn't look good, or why they go with this route or that. I'm the first one to admit, man, the Spider-Man Noir just came out. I was like, based on what it's looking like and based on the things, I'm like, it doesn't look like it's going to be good. Perhaps I was wrong. Apparently, it's one of the best things to come out recently. So, you know, we can be wrong. But back to you.
I'm excited to check it out. I think what, like, and speaking more kind of on the comic side, I think what dawned on me is just, I think initially when I was younger, and I think a lot of people are, it's like you love picking a side. It's like, this guy is great and this guy is awful and this character is great and this art style is awful and stuff like that. And I remember, for whatever reason, Guy Davis is an artist that works a lot with like Guillermo del Toro, but he also works with Mike Mignola and stuff like that. And I remember seeing his first few things on like Sandman Mystery Theater, and I was like, I really don't like his art style. Like, I don't know why this guy is, you know, famous. And then for some reason, like, cut to like a few years later, and I looked at him like, oh God, his stuff is like gorgeous. And what dawned on me in that moment is like, anybody that can do their thing and do everything within it, like create a whole world in a style, it almost doesn't matter what the style is. Like, you can have characters that look really simple artistically or are super detailed. You can have stuff that's super cartoony or super realistic. But I think over time, as I matured, it's like I became appreciative of people where it's like, anybody that can just keep like working in their world and maintain a style and draw anything they can imagine, I have like immense appreciation for.
Oh, that's incredible. And so, switching gears a little bit, you wrote some episodes for Teen Titans Go, which, I mean, talk about like you know, Aliens, Silent Hill, you know, Game Boy Advance games. Teen Titans Go, which is as extreme, like, on one side of the spectrum as animation goes, right? Because if you like the Batman series and all these things, like Teen Titans Go is as like it's an ADHD kid on sugar rush. Like, it's how did that come about? And
I'm completely a like self promoter and opportunist, and basically we got assigned by Warner Brothers to do a game, Batman Brave and the Bold, on Nintendo Wii, and that was kind of the beginning of Way Forward doing like the playable cartoon thing. It's like same art style, same animation process, heavy VO, heavy scripting and stuff like that. And Warner Brothers Animation, who we worked with, they did our cutscenes, they did our VO. They were really impressed with how it came out. And Sam Register is the head of Warner Brothers Animation. And I had talked on a few calls during the game with him, and I like, he was very you know, congratulatory, like, oh, you guys did such a good job with our Batman game. And so I basically just said, hey, I would love to write for TV if you're doing anything for that. And we kind of became, you know, chummy a little bit on emails for a while. And that turned into me getting to write a couple episodes of Teen Titans Go. And man, it was so much fun. Like, it was with the back of the original showrunners, Michael Jellinek and Aaron Horvath, who are now on top of the world because they directed both of them Super Mario Brothers movies. So they're just massive now. But I got to like sit in a room with them on the WB lot and break story, which just means like, hey, we're just throwing ideas out. It's like, no, that's stupid. What about this? No, that's dumb. And just coming up with ideas. And then once we had some plots that they liked, I would go back and write some treatments, and then we would pitch that back and forth. And then I would take their notes, and then I would go write the episodes. But it was so fun. It was so quick too. It was like in the course of just like like a week or so each. But I loved writing the script. And then afterwards, I had nothing to do with it. So it's like I turn in my script, and then that's it. They tweak it a little bit, and then it goes to animation, and then like half a year later, I saw it. I would love to do more cartoon stuff. So hopefully one day. So far, it's only those 2 episodes, but it was a lot of fun. Those 2 episodes are maybe the most fun thing I've ever written as far as like assignments.
I mean, if that's not the viral clip for, hey man, shoot your shot, you know, like put it out there, put it out in the universe. What's the secret, right? Like, just speak it into existence. That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about, you know, again, because I can only imagine how different it is writing for something that's horror, writing for something that's game, versus writing something that is super on the edge of comedy, of like slapstick, you know, vaudevillian comedy for animation, for kids show. what was that switch like? What'd you get out of that?
I think I've always been good at like mimicking like writing styles and dialogue. So, and I mean, the other thing is like I had kids that were like the perfect age for that. So the show was already debuting and I already knew what it was. And I thought it was great. Like a lot of people, especially I think people that like, you know, a generation younger than me that were like teenagers when Teen Titans came out, the original cartoon, were like, oh man, I hate this. Like, what is this? What is this baby crap and why are they so obnoxious? But I tend to like I like I use the term a lot like high personality, and you know it's not necessarily obnoxious, but like another really good high personality both in the comics and the movies and everything is Scott Pilgrim. Like Scott Pilgrim, everything is just cranked up to 11, and same thing with the River City Girls, everything's cranked up to 11 in terms of personality and jokes and silliness and stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan of that, and yeah, it was fun. It was definitely like I was kind of surprised that like as I've tried different fields, like when I worked in that for cartoons, when I've done comic books and stuff, I kind of just write it up and I'm like, is this format okay? Like I don't really know what I'm doing, and they're just like, yeah, that's fine, like we'll figure it out. So it's like the format really wasn't that different between all the different stuff I did. Obviously when you're doing cartoons, you think in terms of like, okay, I'm describing the shot and the camera goes here, or we cut to this, especially depending on the gag and stuff like that. But I've heard that that's kind of an anomaly too. Like I think a lot of cartoons, like especially SpongeBob, I believe, are written where they're done by the storyboard artists. Like the artists are just coming up with gags first, and then later on, almost like Marvel method with the comics, they're getting the dialogue at the end. Teen Titans Go, because it was always about wordplay, was the opposite. It's like full script, full complete dialogue from the beginning, and then it starts getting storyboarded. So from that perspective, it wasn't that different from everything else I've done. There's just like little differences, little bits and pieces that you have to think about if you're doing games versus books versus comics versus TV versus whatever.
Wow. Oh, that's very fascinating. I mean, I didn't know that. All right, so we're gonna shift gears, and I want to caution the audience because this is gonna. When I went through it, I was like, what the what? Romeo and Juliet and Godzilla. That is not a sentence I ever thought I'd say out loud. How? What? Why? Wait, how did so many questions. How did this concept come together?
So, I mean, everything goes back to the amazing comic writer illustrator Tom Scioli, who did Godzilla Monster Peace Theater, and the first one had Great Gatsby and a bunch of other literary figures interacting with Godzilla. It's super bizarre book and just like absolutely inspired. And so I was already working on what we'll talk about in a second, the 13 Demons Dead, of my original graphic novel, because that's 250 pages. I was working on that for like over 3 years. So while I was doing that with IDW Publishing, our editor, Jake, I also knew him to be the Godzilla guy. So I was constantly pestering him like, hey, like, let me do a Godzilla thing. Let me give you some ideas. And I would just throw him like random ideas. Because anybody who's looked at IDW's Godzilla lineup, it's insane. It's like they have Godzilla skateboarding and they have Godzilla going on bank heists and stuff. It's like everything is so creative and so wild. And so I had given him just a bunch of really random bizarre ideas, and one of them was just Romeo and Juliet meet Godzilla. And it's just because I love Shakespeare and I love that play in particular. I love the Baz Luhrmann film from the 90s. And then he came back to me and said, you know, since Tom Scioli's series is so successful, we're going to do an anthology thing with different creators. Maybe this could slot into that. And I said, oh, absolutely. That sounds fun. And so he put the whole thing together. He got the amazing Sean Peacock to do the artwork, who has kind of that Scioli-esque feel, but he's got his own style too. And yeah, we dove in and just started working on it. As one of the most crazy, bizarre, fun things I've ever done. And just the entire way, me and Sean were just coming up with absolutely insane stuff. And we would check with Jake. I was like, can we do this? Can we do this? And he's like, yeah, that's cool. And there's just, everything was just like very, very chill about the production of it.
I was like, what kind of drugs were you guys on when you're like, if for people that, how do you pitch this? How do you tell somebody like, yeah, but let me tell you about this thing I worked on? Like, how do you describe to the average person Romeo, Juliet, and Godzilla?
I think it's like, we talked at the beginning, like, how are we going to go about it? And if you look at like Scioli's original Monsterpiece Theater, it goes off the rails really quick. So it doesn't follow the book of Great Gatsby or anything beyond some initial moments. It really just kind of explodes in this like multi-character, like expansive kind of new world. And initially we were thinking, okay, maybe we'll do something like that. But I realized as I went through the original Romeo and Juliet play, it's like, it's so specific. It's so specifically written. Everybody knows it because of the lines. Like nobody, like Romeo and Juliet as characters, they're not that deep. They're just crazy teenagers that are like way more in love than they should be for somebody they just spotted. But what the worth is in that play is like the language and the individual moments and the, wherefore art thou and a plague on both your houses, like all that stuff. And so that really defined how we did it. And so we decided, well, we kind of want to just retell Romeo and Juliet start to finish as much as we can, almost more like when I was younger, they had Classics Illustrated, like the second generation, where they would get artists like Bill Sienkiewicz and Kyle Baker and Matt Wagner and stuff like that doing these amazing retellings of these classic stuff. So kind of did that. And then I realized, well, I probably need to keep it in the same dialogue tone, because if it's not, I can't reuse all those lines. So then it was like, all right, so everything has to be in iambic pentameter, everything has to rhyme, everything has to sound like it's words that were in the language 600 years ago and stuff. And it was really interesting. It was really hard to write like that, but it became a fun challenge. And I think at the end, the fact that story wise we kind of played it really straight, and then there's just like, you really feel like these couples in love and you really feel bad for them, and then Godzilla knocks the shit out of everything and stuff like that. It just makes it so much funnier than I think if we had leaned fully into the silliness of it top to bottom.
Yeah, oh man. The challenge there, the way you describe it, reminds me a lot of like, it's almost you're working backwards, right? Like it's this is all exist. Where can we insert Godzilla kind of a thing versus building it from the ground up and going, the other way. Oh man, I like to be a fly on the wall, be like, so is this too much Godzilla or is it not enough? Like it just, wow, man, that's wild.
And specifically, you were talking about kind of the differences between different art forms. That's what I really love now working in comics is the one thing you do not get in video games, you do not get in books, you do not get in TV or anything like that, is the idea of the page turn reveal. So I love that uniquely within comics, you turn the page, you're going to see like the next 2 minutes of what you're going to read and all the panels and all that stuff. And then when you turn the page, the next panel is a big surprise. And so that's something I really enjoyed on there. And so Sean did like some amazing, like you turn the page and Godzilla bursts out, or we had like the Mecha Godzilla, the 15th century equivalent Automatazilla. He's all made out of wood and gears and stuff. Like I love doing stuff like that where it gets it like, the tension builds and then you turn the page and there's just a massive like single page spread of characters bursting out of the, ground and stuff like that. So that was really fun just to, as, again, something that I've been writing professionally for over 20 years, never got to dabble with that sort of a reveal and that sort of a cadence and flow before these projects.
Oh man, I love that we're kind of building a narrative within this interview. We're seeing the building blocks come together, right? We're heading somewhere. Let's talk about 13 Demons Dead. Wow, I've gotten to see some of the pages. You sent over some of the pages. It's incredible. It's so good. What, for those out there, what's the elevator pitch? What are you selling on 13 Demons Dead? Give us the preview here.
So it's basically, I had done a little bit of work with IDW. Like I said, they did my first children's book, which is a horror book called Afraid of Everything. And then I was talking with them about comics and stuff like that. And so I pitched them on an original idea. And it was called 13 Demons Dead. And it's essentially, the idea is that there's these 13 invisible demons just roaming the earth and just causing a ruckus and just messing shit up. And they've been doing so for 2,000 years. And the way that the universe deals with them, the way God and the devil deal with them, is there's always like this anointed individual who's like the demon slayer, and so this person is the only person that can see the demons, and the demons are drawn to him, and he needs to kill the demons. And there's all these, again, I'm a video game guy, so there's all these, like, I'm getting equipped with swords and shield and special like gauntlets, like all these cool, very video gamey type things to deal with the demons. And but the twist on this is that after 2,000 years of mostly like Catholic priests and stuff being this warrior, it accidentally goes to this very shy, very meek 14-year-old girl. And now what happens then? And so that's kind of the setup. And then, you know, thematically, I always say, think of like Hellblazer, think of John Constantine, but instead of like a pissy, self-absorbed, you know, 40-year-old man, it's like a very shy 14-year-old girl who also has to deal with high school and bullies and stuff like that. And so it was just, I don't know where it came from, but I love horror. I love teenage drama and bullies and just snarky, you know, humor and stuff like that. So it's just cramming all that stuff together. But it's definitely, I've worked harder on this than any other thing I've ever written. I really, like, you know, revise the hell out of it over and over and over, just to make sure it's as tight as possible, to make sure that there's nice cliffhangers that pull you from chapter to chapter. And the art by Saspi, an Italian artist, is just absolutely phenomenal. Gorgeous. So yeah, that one, like I said, over 3 years we were working on that. And that one, 13 Demon Dead, comes out in August. So hopefully it's a success, because we really want to do more of those.
Yeah, I mean this in the best way possible. It gave me a little bit of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibes. You know, this idea of like, I've got to balance, you know, relationships in school, and I don't want to do this thing, and like I'm thrust into it, and I have to, you know. So and I mean, no insults. Like that is a positive thing.
Lots of Buffy in there, lots of Scott Pilgrim in there.
Yes,
lots of Hellblazer in there. Yeah, for
sure. You know, the character is Everly, right? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it. Everly is, you know, she's thrown into this world where she's expected to save humanity while dealing with school and family, everyday life. Where I'm curious where, not necessarily where you get the idea for it, but like what parts of yourself do you have to kind of put in there? Is it like it's a play on work-life balance, and like what kind of, where does that come from you?
I think, you know, it's hard to pinpoint it. Like I always feel whenever I'm writing characters, I've created characters before, I've written for existing characters, it never feels like I'm actually writing. It just feels like the ideas kind of work their way into my head. So I could say, hey, I wanted to do Hellblazer with a little girl. I can't tell you where Eva Spada came from. She sort of just kind of came up in my head, and then as you're writing, it's just like, well, here's what she would say, and here's what she would say. And then I think you get to know the character more in comics once you start seeing the art. And so that was really useful, as like Saspi was drawing Ev, and I would see how she would react to stuff and her facial expressions, and the fact that it's kind of like, at times it's a very there's moments where it's very serious and somber, and so Saspi draws Ev very realistic, and then there's time where like a demon bursts out of the ground and she straight up gets like anime googly eyes and gritty teeth, and it's just like, you know, all of that is applicable. Like we can be in, again, go into something like Scott Pilgrim, you can have like nice emotional moments, and then you can have absolutely bonkers off the wall moments. So I never really, it always felt to me less like I was creating this character and more about just that she just kind of grows, and I get to know her the more that I write about her. But I will say that, like, as I was working on the story, I always knew it was going to be about her in school. I always knew it was going to be about, you know, fighting demons and stuff. But I think the more that I worked on it, and if you read the full book, you see more and more of this as you go, is she really starts to lean more and more on the relationships that she has. So it becomes more about her and her best friend Jeannie really supporting her. It becomes more about how Eva's interacting with her parents, how she interacts with her little sister, how she interacts with the idea of, like, you know, first kisses and boyfriends and girlfriends, like all this stuff. It ended up getting much more kind of like emotional and kind of like, you know, what kids go through in their teenage life. Maybe it's because I have teenagers now. I have a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, but it's that was the one thing that surprised me. I think if I had guessed at the beginning, I'd be like, oh, there's just going to be a whole bunch of like demon hacking, and it ends up being like, I still want to make sure every 20 pages, every chapter, there's still a hell of a demon battle, but there's a lot of like emotional stuff in between that too.
It's a lot of like, it's like a coming of age story. It's we grow
so, yeah.
with the character. The way you describe it, I don't know why I get this visual of like a sculptor who's chiseling away at this stone. Like I know there's something in there, and I'm just discovering it as it falls to pieces. You know, that's such a cool thing, because I'm always curious when you have these long format stories. It's one thing to write a mini series or a video game or a movie or a TV episode where there's this very clear arc structure, right? The setup, the problem, and then the resolution. When you're doing these kind of long format stories, how far ahead are you thinking? Do you like, okay, I know generally this is how it's going to end? Is it how much does it change from story to story? Give me some of the details. I need to know.
Very, very like at the beginning. So when I was pitching the series to IDW, I had to pitch. Initially, I pitched it as like, hey, let's do 12 issues. And so that's why it has a very like every 20 pages. And then they were the ones that said, actually, this feels more like in the vein of like manga. Why don't we do just a big book? And I'm kind of thankful that they did that, because you look at the comics indie space now, it's like, what little micro indie series makes it to 12 issues at this point? Like it would have been so possible that I could have had my 12 issues written, and then after 4 or 5 issues, like, it's not really performing, let's just cancel it. So we get like 250 pages to introduce you to this character, which is like such a blessing. But the initially I had all the plots figured out, and the way I do it is like very top down. It's like, here's the 12 chapters, here's what happens, and then I start breaking it into pages. It's like, on these 2 pages this happens, on these 2 pages this happens, like very short sentences. And then from there I go to describing the panels with no dialogue, and then once I have the pacing of that, then I go in finally and do the dialogue, and then after that it goes to the artist, and she does thumbnails, then sketches and stuff like that. However, I will say I did that, and then I had turned in like, the initial for a couple scripts, and then as the artist Saspy is working on the first chapter, I had this panic moment of like, oh god, this thing is like way too flat, like there's not enough to hook the reader. So it's like every chapter, sure, we had a little bit of character building, sure, we had a little bit of demon slaying and stuff, but I realized it was very monster of the week. It's like demon pops up, I bop it, demon pops up, I bop it. So I started kind of like, I had the luxury working with my editor, Jake, that as long as I had the script locked before my artist got to it, I could keep revising it. And so a lot of like the little cliffhangers at the end of each chapter, and the, wait, what happened? And I believe this thing, and now everything's turned upside down. A lot of those moments that I think will really do that potato chip style thing where the reader has to, I said player, I'm from video games, where the reader has to do one more chapter, hopefully will pay off. None of that was in the original script, and it was very much me kind of going in later and saying, oh, I got to tighten these up, and I got to put as much compelling narrative in each chapter as possible.
Yeah, it's funny you should have the little Freudian slip there, but you can see the elements that we've talked about. The TV style writing style of like, there has to be a cliffhanger, there has to be, got to get to the next season, the next episode. You can see the building blocks of the gaming stuff, right? You got to go on the quest, you got to collect the things, you got to beat the boss, and so it's really cool to see kind of this whole culmination of like everything you've done in 20 plus years, kind of
very much so
coming to fruition in this thing. And one of the things like I immediately liked about this and the premise and the character is that, unlike, the idea of the chosen one, it's this person who's just like, holy shit, like you're thrust into the middle of this, and it's an impossible situation, and it's so unexpected. Like, is there something specifically of when you're thinking about this character where you're like, I don't want to be player one, right? It's almost like I wanted it to be an NPC that's suddenly like, hey, here you go. Yeah. You're running the show.
I'll tell you, like, one of my favorite tropes, and this is absolutely all this book is I love things, especially in horror. You see it in a lot of horror. You see like Evil Dead movies and stuff like that. I love stuff where you have you have character here, and they're okay, they're kind of self-assured, and then they're just dragged through the mud and just absolute hell for 2 hours, and then they pop out the other side and they're like, now I have an ego, now I have strength. Like, we just, perfect example of that is the Sam Raimi movie Send Help. It's like that main character, she was so meek and so just like nerdy, and then by the end of the movie she's just like super ego. And so I love that. I love the idea of just like having a character just dragging them through hell, just destroying their life over and over and over. And it's that saying of like, you know, that which doesn't kill us make us stronger. So that is definitely at the heart of the story. And, you know, I think also not just making her tough by beating her up, but also in the first chapter that you know, in the first 2 chapters, you can see it's not her choice to be this demon slayer. Like, it's completely by accident. And even when she gets pulled into it, like, hey, we got to train, hey, we got to beef you up, she's like, I really don't want to do this, just leave me alone. You know, she kind of warms up to it, but I wanted there to be a real focus on choice. So there's, in the later chapters, like, there's moments where it's not just like, oh yeah, because that one thing happened and now you're stuck with it. I wanted her to reach a moment where it's like, okay, I now have an opportunity. Do I want to choose to continue doing this, or do I want to choose not to do this, and put it more on her terms? And so I think a lot of that is like, you know, at the beginning, she really has no agency. She just does whatever her teachers say, whatever her parents say. She just, you know, she doesn't push back on anybody. The bullies just treat her like crap, and she just takes it and tries to get away from them. I wanted her to start having more of an opinion about everything, and more of an opinion about what her life is. And so hopefully that's kind of the through line, that by the end of the book, you reach this like much stronger version of this character.
Yeah. And we don't have to spoil anything, but I love this idea of like, there's an off ramp, right? Where you're like, you have an opportunity to hang it up, walk away. But like the hero's journey, we always talk about like Homer and the hero's journey. You have to choose to stay on it. You have to, you know, fight through the adversity. So we all love a story like that. You call it cliche, call it, there's a reason they've been doing it for thousands of years, because we love it.
Tropes are awesome, man.
We need
Everybody,
it.
you know, as long as you bring something unique to the style of writing or the style of art, nothing wrong with like, you know, embracing those tropes. People love familiar structure.
Absolutely. And horror often works best when it reflects real fears, right? That's what I've always felt. So underneath, you know, all the demons and the actions, every 20 pages, like you talked about, what is, in your opinion, what is 13 Demons Dead really about? What is the fear that's kind of baked underneath that?
That's a really good question.
Growing up.
Yeah, I think it's just like, you know, like powerlessness. It's just like the fact that, you know, nothing she does is worth really being pushy about, because it doesn't matter anyways. So it's like dealing with her teachers, dealing with bullies, dealing with her family. It's just like, I think she's just one to just roll with the punches. Because I think in early Ev's opinion, like, she's cheerful and she loves hanging out with her best friend and stuff, but it's like, why put up a fuss about anything? Like, why, when the bullies treat you like crap, why make a big deal about it? Because it's just going to cause this big war. Just put your head down and hopefully they'll, you know, focus on somebody else. So I think for her, it's very much just about like, you know, not wanting to rustle feathers. And then over the course of the book, she's like, no, this is, you know, this is my life. And these are, you know, especially I think part of it also, which I totally ripped off from Hellblazer. Anybody who read the John Constantine comic, the main series, will know he's one of the few comic characters that progressed in real time. So I think the book was like 30 years or something like that. He aged 30 years during that. Like, he went from like a 30-year-old dude to like a 60-year-old man. And I love that real time aspect. You also see that with like the band Gorillaz and a few other things where they're aging in real time. So the book takes place over 12 months and she ages 12 months. It ends 1 year later than where it began. So yeah, a lot of it was just, you know, going through that with her, and you know, having her develop in that way, in very substantive ways that'll hopefully pay off for the reader by the end.
That's awesome. Now we're coming to the end of the hour. I do like to respect my guest time. I never want to take more than what I give, but I would love to dig a little deeper into this if you have the time.
I got time, man.
Okay, awesome. Because I really do love this. I really do. The book is black and white, which to me feels like a very deliberate creative choice. I'm going to assume it's not just to save money on ink. No. So what does that format kind of allow you and Saspy to do that maybe color doesn't really allow you to do?
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it too much. I will say that there's one of the major reasons why it's black and white, other than it just looks cool, is there's a moment later where it's not black and white. And so that's what I want, is like getting them used to it, getting them to go through hundreds of pages where they're like, I understand this. And then you put a little bit of splash of color in a particular context. It's like, oh, I didn't even know this was allowed. Like, this doesn't even seem like it's allowed within the rules of this. So that was definitely a part of it. The other thing that was really blew my mind. So I'm working with Saspy on the art, and most of the time when we do, like, because like on River City Girls, that's also in black and white, the comic stuff, but the key art and covers are in color and everything. Most of that stuff, the artists are just kind of like laying down gray tones in Photoshop, and it's just like a big brush of gray and different gray tones. What's really unique about this, I've never worked with an artist like this, is 100% of this book, and now you have to look back at it after I interview and zoom in, 100% of this book is black and white. There's no gray in it. And what it is Saspy, she draws it by hand, and then she does duotone, which is kind of like, if you think of zoomed in comics, like that kind of Liechtenstein painting stuff.
Yeah.
All of the gray tones are that. So the book is 100% black and white. I'd never had worked with anybody like that, and it's interesting. And I was like, why do you do that? And she just says, oh, it just has a different feel. And I tried, like, doing some test prints and stuff, and it totally feels different. Like, there's just something that pops, that feels so much more visceral and like strong edged and sharp about having the little duotone drops that are all black. Everything is black or everything is white, as opposed to just like swaths of gray. So that was also really, that was just her preference as an artist. But yeah, we never, like, I think IDW would have been fine. We could have said, we're going to do it full color. We're going to do it pure black and white. We're going to use gray tone, whatever. And I think they would have just been like, yeah, that sounds good, whatever. But those are the two things. Yeah, it was like the duotone stuff by her. She was something she was passionate about. And then, like I said, it's not entirely black and white, but you have to read the whole book to find out.
Oh, you got to find it. You got to find it. No, I love the idea. It reminds, it's like newspaper, right? The image, you get real close, you see all the, like, oh no, it's just black and white. It's just dots. Yeah. When you're developing the visual, let's talk about that a little bit, because I think that's such an important part. Obviously, the writing and all that is huge, but unlike some mediums, I do feel like comic books and graphic novels and these, like, it's equal part the visual and the storytelling. It's so intrinsically, like, they're intertwined. If I say Walking Dead, like, you visually see this kind of art style as much as the story is. So when you're working with her, developing this visual style and the personality of the book, how does that back and forth work, right? Are you giving more and she's kind of taking it in? Is she giving more and you're working with it? What's that relationship like?
So it's really just kind of like finding the perfect person. And it was really crazy because Saspy didn't co-create the book with me. I actually co-created it with Rem, the River City Girls artist, but I didn't know how comic books work. So I basically like had Rem, the RCG artist, do, create Eva Spada and do like some art and some concepts and stuff. And then I pitched it to IDW and I'm like, hey, here's the comic I want to do. They're like, this seems great, we should do it. And I'm like, they're like, when can she get started on the art? And I'm like, oh no, Rem's not available. And they're like, well, we're not going to greenlight a book if you don't know who the artist is. So we had to scramble then to like find a replacement artist, and that's where we found Saspy. And it was very much like, I think I liked her art. I think she and I had been following each other just randomly on Twitter as mutuals. What I love about her art is that she's a European artist. She's in Italy, and so it has one foot in manga style, feels kind of modern Japanese style, but you can tell it has that Euro style as well. So it's like, I've never seen like with Rem, with her style is kind of like half Japanese, half American in terms of the visuals. With Saspy, it's very much like half Japanese, half Italian, European, and I really liked that blend. It was really interesting to me, and so I liked her concepts. And she did some cool sketches. I also love the fact that everything she does, so every page you read is she's inking on paper. She's not working digitally other than tones, and I think that's just so special, and that becomes more and more rare nowadays with a lot of indie artists. But we talked to IDW, and they were kind of like, oh, we kind of like it, we're thinking about it. And I said, like, we just got to show them what we could do. And so Saspy and I wrote a 10-page story that wasn't exactly anywhere within the book, but was kind of representation of like what a beat would be. And then she drew it, and we just did it ourselves, and then we submit it to them. Where it's like, well, this is what it's going to be like, and they're like, okay, now we get it. Like, now that was what it took to like greenlight the series. So that was kind of like the beginning of the back and forth. And then aside from that, we really just like, we coordinate via Discord. And when we were working on the book, we're just on Discord like 24/7 and just like chatting. And I'm like, what do you want to draw? It's like, what kind of creatures do you like? And she lives in Italy, so like a big portion of the back of the book takes place in Italy. What do you want to draw? She's like, I really like Halloween stuff. Okay, there's like a Halloween kind of chapter. So it was kind of just figuring out what she felt like drawing, and then I would write the full script. But she would come back to me sometimes with suggestions of like, as she's doing the thumbnails specifically, like oh, what if we change this, or what if we move this over here, what if we change the pacing here, because I want her to have as much ownership over the characters as I do. And that was just, we just kind of got into a nice rhythm. What's really cool is the book, it's 250 pages of story. I think it's like 254 or something, but at the back we have some nice little extras. So we have all the original sketches she did, and then we show all of the tiny pages, some of them from the original sample book, the sample story that we did, and we show her process. So we show how a page goes from thumbnails to pencils to inks to tones. There's a lot of kind of nice behind the scenes stuff back there, including a really nice, beautiful full color image by Rem that was like the first key art image to kind of inspire the whole project.
That's awesome. I love that stuff. I love the edit stuff. You've written obviously stories for established world for years. You heavy in the world of IP. What was it like for you to finally be creating a completely original universe where every rule, every character, it all came from your mind and that collaborative process? What was that like for you?
Probably equal parts like exciting and terrifying. So it's like you can kind of know if you're writing like a Batman story or a Wolverine story. It's like, this feels like him. This feels pretty good. And especially, when we do games where we get to do the VO, it's like, okay, that joke landed. So it's like very, we've been reading Batman our entire lives. Batman's been around for close to 100 years. So everybody knows how Batman and Bruce Wayne are, same thing with like the X-Men going back to the 60s and stuff. So that's the thing that was, I think, exciting, but also very scary, because you go down this route and it's like, here's what I think this character is, and I think this story, but I don't know. And so sometimes you have those little moments of uncertainty. I remember when I went into it, there were a couple moments where I'm like, I'm kind of asking IDW, like, is it okay if I cuss as the character, or like how much violence can we do? Because I'm thinking like, well, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot where it's like, oh, this feels like a nice YA book, but then somebody says the word shit, so it's not going to be on store shelves. So I was kind of like, do I need to dial some of this back? Like, I think even in the first chapter, like the bullies call her a pretty nasty word. I'm like, is this too harsh? And they were just very supportive. They're just like, do whatever you want. They're just like, do the book that you want to do. And I think that was the right call. So it's like, as you go through, there's very silly stuff, especially Ev and her best friend Jeannie, being silly 14-year-old girls and being friendly and goofy and talking crap on things and stuff like that. But then you'll have characters that will just be like eviscerated and limbs yanked off and close-ups of gore and brains spilling out. Like, I really wanted to do something that on the one hand was very sweet and goofy and silly, and then on the other hand is like, super gory, kind of in like a way, again, like Sam Raimi will just combine lighthearted with just super grisly, or like another good reference point would be something like Peter Jackson's movie, a lot of his early stuff, but The Frighteners is like so good at like having silly, like very fun stuff, and then just like super grisly serial killer, like dark stuff as well. I love just like all those worlds meeting.
I don't know why, but the first image is like an episode of Bluey where they're reenacting Apocalypse Now. and you're just like, holy shit, like, you know, or this very cute, and then it's like very dark. No, that's awesome, and you know, especially given your background and your expertise and your knowledge and your wealth of experience, if 13 Demons Dead is successful, do you already have ideas for expanding the world? Multiple like, could we see a video game? Could we see a bigger novelization, spin-off series, cartoons? Like, where's the sky's the limit on this? Where are we going?
Yeah, I would love to. Like, my perfect scenario would be looking at like I think his name's I don't know how to pronounce it, but like Ted Neofei's like Courtney Crumrin series was an amazing like spooky investigator series, and I think he did something like 15 or 20 books over the course of like a few decades. I would love to do something like that where we just keep coming back to the character. We already have an outline for book 2. I already know everything that would happen. I have it like perfectly plotted out, and Saspy did some amazing concept art. We know who the villains are and what the new plot is and all this stuff, and then that ends on a cliffhanger, which means they also know what book 3 is, so we know at least that far. And we have not pitched it yet to IDW. I kind of want to wait to the first one comes out and hopefully it's a success, and then say, hey, here's what we want to do next, because I don't think anyone's gonna pull the trigger on something that's an unproven entity. But we definitely know what we want to do. And I think the other thing is, like I mentioned, it took us 3 years to do the first one. I feel fortunate we got to do that, but I think nobody wants to wait 3 years between books. So I think if we get to do more of them, first book is 250 pages, nice big dump at the beginning. You get into her world, you get into the lore, and then the future volumes, starting with volume 2, are 100 pages each, because we can knock out 100 pages in about a year. And that would be my dream thing, is that it's successful enough that Saspy and I, every like year and a half, we're coming up with a new volume, and it just continues the crazy adventures of this teenage girl.
I love it, and she ages as we go along, and we get middle-aged demon hunter, and then
at minimum we got to do 4 books, so we got to get her out of high school.
We get to the senior citizen demon hunter, where she's fighting around the old folks home.
I'll tell you, like Hellblazer. I think like a lot of people think of like the early Hellblazer, stuff. I really love the last few issues, the last few arcs, which were written by Peter Milligan, because crusty old like 60, 70-year-old Constantine was awesome. He was just such a weird character, and I was still, one of my favorite comics as a kid was Shade the Changing Man. It very much felt like kind of like a sequel to that, but I'd love it. Yeah, honestly, I think the best comic book of all time, in my opinion, is Usagi Yojimbo by Stan Sakai. He's been doing it for 40 plus years. He's been adding new stories for that character and writing and drawing him every month for 40 years. I think that is like the dream life. If you could just have a character and just keep living with them and keep developing them for decades and decades, that would just be a dream. So hopefully it's, I don't know if we'll be as lucky as doing 40 years, but if we could get 3 or 4 volumes, I'd be pretty happy.
We're gonna circle back. Let's say 20 years from now. We'll circle back and we'll do like a 20th anniversary special.
You mentioned video games. It's funny. Yeah. So when I did the deal with IDW, because I'm in video games, that was a carve out. So I actually have the video game rights. I can do a video game of her, and I kind of plan to do one. And I was just like, I was so indecisive. I'm like, what would the game be? Because I thought like, well, I do video games. Why don't I do a quick video game and time it with the release of the book so it can promote the book? I just couldn't think of a good one. So maybe someday, but yeah, like I racked my brain for a year. It's like I just couldn't come up with anything good, but maybe someday.
That's good. We don't want the tie-in. You want it to be something that's representative of the material in the comic. Before I let you go,
I was going to say really quick, I'm really hopeful because IDW, more than a lot of comic publishers, they're very transmedia focused. They do a lot of movies, a lot of TV series. So that's the other thing I'm hoping for, which would be mostly on them. I want to see them, this to be successful, and then see it become a movie, see it become a TV series. I know that if they get an audience, that's the kind of stuff they're going to pursue because they're super into that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think, again, it's been a good long while since we had that kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer-esque, coming of age, overcoming the odds. I think that would make for great television. Before I let you go.
Yeah.
What is next for you, first of all? And then also let's plug, where can people get 13 Demons Dead?
Thank you. Yeah, so 13 Demons Dead, if anybody's popping in late, 250-page original horror comedy graphic novel from me, Adam Tierney, writer of River City Girls and Aliens and Batman and all these video games. You can pre-order it right now online. So if you go to anywhere, Barnes & Noble online, Amazon online, just look up 13 Demons Dead, 1-3, and then Demons Dead. You can pre-order it right now. It comes out early August. I'm going to be doing some local signings in the LA area too. So if you want to get a signed copy and you live in SoCal, definitely hit me up. And I'll be posting on social media and stuff. But yeah, you can pre-order it right now. And then aside from that, just doing the video game stuff. I might not be as retired as a game director as I thought, because I haven't directed anything since River City Girls in 2019. But one of the properties came along where I'm like, oh, I got to do that one. So I might be directing something in the near future. That'll be fun again, because I have kind of missed being in the weeds of designing and directing games. Those are the two things on the horizon for me. And then again, if the 13 Demons Dead does well, we have ideas for volume 2. We're going to be pitching that to IDW. Hopefully that's something that we'll be working on in the coming months as well.
Absolutely. Oh God. Well, you're gonna have to come back and talk to us for the next game thing. I try to get out and they pull me back in.
Exactly.
Dude, you are incredible. I love this. Has been such a great conversation. Social media. Where can people follow you?
Everywhere. Usually Adam Wright Stuff. ADAM WRITESTUFF. That's usually my handle on like Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. Those are really the only places I'm at. But yeah, if anyone wants to interact about Way Forward video games, also we occasionally do cool live events. We're going to be at Anime Expo in a month. We're going to be doing a panel there, which we've done every year. We're going to be showing off some of our latest games and stuff. So yeah, like if you like cool video games, go to wayforward.com. We have lots of cool stuff coming out there. Otherwise, yeah, check me out on social media, Adam Wright Stuff, and definitely pre-order your copy of 13 Demons Dead so I can make more of them.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to have to get my signed copy to add to the collection. You can't see it there, but those are all, my little personal signed collection of all my friends of the show that are always welcome back in the future and talk more about their amazing careers and their work. I'll give you the last few seconds here before we toss it to the break to say goodbye to the audience.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was so fun to chat about and really good topics. And like I said, this was the nicest intro I've ever had in any interview I've done in my life. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for celebrating comic arts, man. I mean, as somebody, I'm sure you're a lifelong comic reader yourself. It's one of those weird industries where it's like, it's the biggest thing in the world, but it's also the smallest thing in the world. And so, bless you for doing interviews with some of the best creators out there. I'm sure they appreciate it. And I'm sure the fans really love it on YouTube and everywhere.
Awesome. All right. Well, you heard it there first. I got to keep doing it, guys. All right. We'll be back with more show right after this. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Adam.
Bye.
Hey, you there? Yeah, it is right, you. Let me ask you something, alright? Where the hell do you think that you're going? Oh, would you think because the show's going to commercial that means you get to just walk away? Well, CQ asked me to pass on the little message, alright? And it says, I'll be back.
There's a voice that breaks the night. It's CQ at the insight. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends and those crazy scenes. Pop culture, dreams and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. From the comics to the silver screens, talking legends. crazy scenes. Pop culture dreams and hidden themes. CQ reveals what it all means. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Marvel at the twists and turns, villains playing, heroes learn. Every episode we'll discern lessons from the past to learn. Games we play and books we read, CQ's lessons what we need. Memories that make us bleed, together we will take the lead. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight. Pop culture warrior here to ignite, guiding through the tales of light. With CQ leading the charge so bright, we're ready for another flight.
Hi there. You're watching Pop Culture Warrior. This is the way.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Oh my God, how awesome. How awesome is Adam Tierney? What a cool fucking dude. What an amazing story. There was so much more I wanted to talk to him about. We're going to have to do a part 2 at some point because I feel like we glossed over. Such an amazing career and has done so many amazing things. Like, I'm honestly, truly in awe. You know, it's one thing to be like, you know, I was in the high school play and then I became an actor and I've been acting, you know, and I've done all these amazing things. but like I've always been an actor or, you know, or dabbled in directing, but like to be writing, directing, comics, TV, you know, games, like my brain just, it's as if my personal hobbies like jumped out and got jobs, like became a human being and worked in all those career fields. So God bless you, Adam Tierney. You're incredible, friend of the show forever. I'm gonna get some copies of 13 Demons Dead. We'll do a giveaway. We'll tie it to something. I don't know what, but we'll figure it out and promote the hell out of it. Because I can tell you, I got an early look at some of the first few pages, and it's good. It's good. I don't say this often. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think if people just give it a chance and try it, I think a lot of people are going to get behind it and really like it. Hey, Insomniac, man, what's up, buddy? You see the PlayStation State of Play today. The Wolverine game looks visceral and awesome. You know, we talked about that in the first hour. As much as it does, it looks really good. Me and Mad Mike are on firm ground that we are boycotting it. We're never going to play because we don't have PlayStations. It's so messed up that they're going to do the exclusive thing. Like, I thought we were moving to an age of inclusivity and that, like, you know, Helldivers is on Xbox and Halo is on PlayStation. Like, I thought we were finally getting to a point where just make games great and you know, now we're going backwards. We're going backwards into no, it's my toy. You can't play with it. It's disappointing. I was looking forward to playing some Wolverine, and that might not be the case. I've been playing Spider-Man on my Xbox Rogue, my little handheld Xbox, and I've been enjoying it. I have been enjoying it. So it's disappointing. All right. What do we have coming up? Let's take a look. I think we have an interview next week. Let me take a look at my schedule. Do we have an interview next week? This dude, so many things. Okay, I don't think we have one next week. It's the week after. I don't know. We have a bunch of interviews coming up. We have a bunch more. Oh crap! I gotta put that date in there. Oof. Got some vacation coming up. Dude, so many things over the next couple of months between San Diego Comic-Con. There's a local one called Station Unity that I want to go to, that we have some friends of ours, friends of the show, that we've interviewed, like Eddie McClintock, Adam Baldwin, Summer Glau, that are going to be there. Love to reconnect with them. Shore Leaves coming up. What else? I'll be in Europe for 2 weeks, traveling all around Europe. So we'll have some interesting content coming out of that trip. You know, New York Comic-Con's down the line. PAX Unplugged is another one. Dragon Con. Breaking news. Might be going to Dragon Con. It's too many things. Too much travel, but you get an opportunity to do some cool stuff at Dragon Con. You kind of gotta try to make it work. So I know MGS Con's not happening this year, so maybe that's a reason to go to Dragon Con. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. If I do, Mad Mike will be there as well, so that'll be a unique thing to have both me and Mad Mike on the ground at the same time, at the same event. Doesn't happen often. It's kind of like a solar eclipse. It happens few and far between, and everybody stares and goes blind, usually, when it happens. Once again, just to close out the day, how we started, just wanted to, once again, highlight that CQ, this guy, is your SRG Super Show LFF Veterans Champion. If you are a vet out there and you want a piece of this. This thing is heavy, by the way. You want this belt. Go get yourself a deck of SRG Super Show cards. You know they're official. They look like this. I mean, obviously, you don't have a character like CQ the Specialist. I mean, you're not that cool, but it's okay. We forgive you. Go get yourself some Super Show cards. I'm a fighting champion. Anytime, any place, anywhere, probably online, because I'm not coming to you and you're probably not coming to me. So we'll meet online on the virtual battlefield, the virtual squared circle. But your veterans champion, CQ. Am I doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. I'm getting healthier. All this exercise, all this travel, champions. This is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. It's the real deal. LFF, Super Show, Veterans Champion. That will be in the background of every show that I'm on. If you see me out in public, I'll be wearing that. Going to get groceries, going to get gas. I'll be wearing it, or carrying it, slinging it. But I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned, man. We got some really, really cool surprises in store. More interviews, more content, and there's so many things. Some sponsorships that are going to be happening. Can't talk about it yet. Give it a couple weeks for everything to for the ink to dry and everything to get lined up. But we'll have some sponsorships across WTF Nation Radio. Some really cool collaborations that are coming. We're getting to work with organizations like Run Style and SRG Universe and all these different companies. Toy companies are reaching out, wanting us to play test some new stuff. Obviously board games and card games that we're doing. And what a dream come true. I just want to take a second and just show my gratitude and appreciation. I don't do it often. Let the CQ mask slip, as it were, and just say I'm so appreciative and so fucking blown away that collectively you and I, have turned this into something from me just talking about silly stuff to a place where we're getting invited to things and getting to do things and getting to meet people and talk with people. When we started, I think my first few interviews were with like friends of mine and, comedians that didn't even travel outside of like the DC area, and talking to like background extras. And to a point now that we're talking to creators like Adam and, last week 2 weeks ago, having Gary Sinise, fucking legend. It is not lost on me just how fucking blessed I am to be in this position. And this show wouldn't be what it is without the people that watch and the people that comment and the people that share and like and subscribe and engage and follow and do all the things. It is truly, truly, truly a blessing and appreciation that I have. And I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do thank you. I get to do something really cool with my friends, bring you along with me. And it's really cool, man. There's a video coming out of the highlights of our trip to Nashville with Grunt Style. That'll be out soon. And then the edited video of my winning the Veterans Championship in a fatal 4-way with the other kids over from FTX, the other crew. So that stuff will be coming out, as well as more interviews, more shows, more cons, more things. Yeah, it's a lot, but I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world, man. What an awesome thing. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Adam Tierney I want to thank Mad Mike for the first hour, keeping it lively as he always does, keeping it full of energy. And I want to thank you for watching. So with that, go forth and do great things. We'll see you next week. Shots.
Let's see it.